Edmonton Sports Talk. My God, I loved it. My name's Jay Milne. #Blue. Our sports update deliverer. The Coon.
I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up today.
You know what, Reid? You might be honest. All right, here's what's going on in the nest.
Wait. A very good Monday morning. You said, hang on, I've been on air all day. It's rare for me not to be on air until the afternoons. Matthew Iwanyk, Jay Milne with you here on the Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne alongside Zachary Kubish on the other side of the camera. Welcome to the show. How are you today? How are you doing today? You have a good weekend? Jay, how are you today?
I'm doing great, Matthew.
I'm glad to hear.
How are you?
I'm excited to work with you these next 2 days on the show.
Are you?
I am.
Are you?
Yes.
Okay. Let me ask you this. How are you doing, Matthew?
I'm doing wonderful. I've actually accomplished a lot today. I've been in my office.
Yes, you were holed up.
Very productive today. And I'm very happy with what I've been able to accomplish.
You
today.
feel like you've accomplished quite a few tasks?
I feel like I've accomplished a few tasks. I feel like I'm set for this show. I feel like I'm starting off this work week the right way.
Positive?
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah. I Reid's in the nasty chat already. Click. I took on the Soviets in the volleyball game we had.
Oh.
I had match point Reid 15-14. I blew it, but I lost 17-15 to the Soviets. So I might be in the Soviets' heads a little bit.
I think you got it. What did I say? I said, what the heck are you doing sitting in here? Go out there and finish the job.
Well, I feel like this week I'll get it done. I feel like this week I'll take down the Soviets in the Super Volleyball Japan game that Reid and I have been playing. So it's been very good. Thank you to everyone for listening live on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Tune in, iHeartRadio, Apple Music, watching on YouTube, or anyone listening on podcast, wherever you get your podcast. Please be sure to subscribe to any of our podcasts. Like I said, on any of the podcast platforms that you use. All of our shows are on there with their own pages, so please follow them all. Download, go subscribe to them all. We'd greatly appreciate it with Edmonton Sports Talk. Every so often we get asked, like, well, what's the best for EST? Is it listening? Is it YouTube? It's all the same. A podcast download, a podcast subscription is just as important to us as a YouTube subscription, a YouTube view, an audio listen. So if you could have some time and do that, we would greatly appreciate it. Be sure to click that thumbs up button on YouTube if you're watching on YouTube as well. And be sure to hit that subscribe button as well. Lots to get to on the show today. We will have Dan Ralph from the Canadian Press coming up at 3:40. We will look back on week 3 of the Canadian Football League. We've got Paul Sir coming up at 4:40. He of 3x3 basketball here in Edmonton. We will talk about the NBA Finals as well as the big trade that happened this weekend with Kevin Durant going to Houston. And then we will have Stephen Dunbar Jr., wide receiver for the Edmonton Elks. He's coming up at 5:20 today. We've got a lot to get to as well throughout the show. We'll have Fired Up. We have Buying or Selling. We'll have Off-Topic Topic, Oil Understood. Lots to get to on the show today. So this is going to be a fun one. Your thoughts always welcome. River Cree inbox 780-218-9999. It is presented by the River Cree inbox on the Tap 25 restaurant, where the entire menu 50% off 7 days a week from 2 until 5. Why have we not brought this show to River Cree for Tap 25 restaurant? 2 to 5. That's 2 hours of the Reid Wilkins Show with you and Reid live at River Cree for happy hour.
That could be dangerous. There's food, there's drink,
50% off,
and there's roulette wheels.
Oh yeah. Where's Jay? Why are Jay and Reid? Zach's going to be calling us. Jay and Reid aren't at the table, or they're not at the desk. Where are they? I think they're playing roulette. Awesome.
What if we got on a streak?
You got to keep it going.
You can't leave.
Well, one of you could stay. One of you could come do the show.
That's
at
true.
the very least.
I suppose.
What'd you make the NBA final closing out yesterday? It's very disappointing that Halliburton had to get hurt. Because it just, like, it's in the end, I know you're different on, you have your thoughts on Haliburton in the series, but that just puts a cloud over a Game 7.
Yeah, it's even if you were, well, I don't know. I think I could speak for pretty much any market outside of Oklahoma City, but you want to see best on best in the championship game. It doesn't, it's like going to a Super Bowl and you lost your quarterback in the divisional or the conference final.
Unless you're the Toronto Argonauts.
It just doesn't make, I don't know. At the end of the day, you could tell. I was one. I certainly thought that the Pacers could overcome the loss of Tyrese Haliburton. But as you pointed out, I think properly, they probably could athletic-wise, but emotionally. And you saw the reaction from Haliburton, getting taken off the court in tears, dejected. And you ask the question, is that, because by all accounts, Tyrese Haliburton knew the risk he was taking playing in that game. He knew that there was a chance that exact injury, a ruptured Achilles tendon, could happen. Yet he decided to play. I mean, this is now going to cost him, presumably, the entire next season.
Yeah.
Maybe he makes a return at the end of the regular season into playoffs. Who knows? It's such a different injury for each individual.
It's also one that you never know what type of player you're coming back as.
Exactly.
There's a lot of players throughout their different ages. There's a lot that don't come back and can't be the same player, especially in the sport of basketball.
And look, this is not the Oklahoma City Thunder. I mean, Paul Sir is going to join us, and I'm going to ask him, how is this the tip of the iceberg for this team? Because they're so young. They still have draft picks. Their number one overall draft pick didn't even play this year, kind of like Chet Holmgren last year. And look what he did in the finals. Look what he did last night. He was a game changer. So is this the start of a dynasty potentially for Oklahoma City? Not the same can be said about Indiana Pacers, especially with your superstar potentially missing the next year. Sports, you talk about championship windows, and you wonder what the window now looks like for that franchise with Haliburton out. But, I mean, you got to give credit to Oklahoma City. I mean, they were dominant in the regular season. They did have probably more struggles throughout the playoffs than they would have liked.
Yes.
A couple Game 7s.
This one shouldn't have gone 7. Everyone thought this was going to be 5.
But Indiana was just the team that wouldn't go away, right? They were never out of it.
What a trade. Clippers and Thunder.
Well, yeah.
It's Paul George, who's now with the 76ers, and the Clippers never even got to an NBA Finals. For SGA, Gallinari, Jalen Williams was one of the picks of that trade, and they still have picks to come from this trade.
Yes.
Like you point out, this might be the tip of the iceberg for OKC. Part of that is because they have the picks from this very trade from the Clippers. I don't know what I would love to have been around Steve Ballmer when OKC won this.
Yeah.
Because you've got to be so frustrated about this one a little bit. You go spend $2 billion, you build this new facility, but you're also kind of sit there. What would have happened if Sahi Gilgeous-Alexander was part of our team? What if we had a bunch of these picks still? What could have we built? And instead it is OKC, which also then you brought this up. What are Seattle fans thinking today?
Well, I asked, are they, are the hardcore Seattle fans cheering? Are they saying, well, that's our old franchise that, we're still attached to? You actually thought, no, they'd be quite
I thought
ticked off.
Look, I'm a Yankee fan, but of the 2 Canadian teams we had in baseball when I was growing up, I was an Expos fan, not a Blue Jays fan. I will never cheer for the Washington Nationals. I want failure upon that organization. I want them to suffer. When they won the World Series, I was disappointed. In fact, they'll always be the Washington Nationals to me because they had a misspelling of their jersey one year. I want them to suffer.
That's cold.
Thank you. Well, they took the team from Canada, took the team from Montreal. That was cold too. There's a guy like
Did they take it?
Baseball didn't help with that one. Low Tide, he was a big Expos fan. He took the difference. He cheered for the Nationals. He became a fan of the Nationals. I think more people, though, are like would cheer against. I don't think Seattle fans would be on board with this. But also, I can't speak because I don't like Nolan Ryan. I will cheer against anything Nolan Ryan does because he bought the Trappers from the Eskimos at the time and moved them to Round Rock. And I lost the Trappers because of Nolan Ryan. So I will always despise Nolan Ryan.
It's a pretty good person to lose it to, though.
No, it isn't.
One of the biggest badass pitchers ever known.
Yeah, he is an executive. He took over the Texas Rangers and they lost those World Series, and I was so happy. I actively, I was diehard cheering against the Texas Rangers a couple of years in the World Series just because I can't stand Nolan Ryan because he bought our team. Dick.
Wow. I really hope I never do anything to get on your bad side.
It's hard to come back
That is
from
Stan.
Too.
That is Stan.
You're good.
Nolan from St. Albert says, not a single Sonics fan is happy about OKC.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Winning. I can guarantee it. Jasmine in the nasty chat says they would be bitter. Yeah, I understand that. I was more or less just wondering, thinking.
Pondering, if you will.
Pondering, if you will.
Amusing, aloud, as some might do.
Musing?
Musing.
What a word.
Maybe that could be a word.
Hey, word of the day is not till later, bruh.
We figured that out.
What figured what out?
With Dusty.
Yeah. It was a mistake.
He confused it with a different word from Con Air.
Well, because I said that, what was it, loquacious?
Yeah.
Was used in the movie Con Air, and I know that's one of Dusty's favorites. And then right after that, I think a light bulb went off in his head, and he said,
Those that missed it on Friday, Dusty thought there was a word that Reid and Jay had for the word of the day. And he said, you guys did it this week. And you guys were like, no, we did not. And we went back, we were researching this. But then some other nasties even jumped in and like, they're gaslighting you, Dusty, that you absolutely, I remember this. And then he texted us later, I think that night. And he went, it's from Con Air.
And Reid and I both, neither of us knew that word. We didn't think it was ever used on the show.
I didn't even know where those listeners that were getting it from.
This just came out, the Elks injury report from today. I know there was people wondering what's, especially with David Beard. He did not practice. He is now out, or not practicing, I guess, with a calf injury. Mark Cordy was out, but non-football related, and he is listed as a full participant moving forward. So
yeah, the signs aren't looking good for David Beard being ready to go for Thursday.
Well, what did we were talking about it earlier? Tyrese Halliburton had what the prior game, calf tightness, right? That is something that if you have that and it is serious and your calf is locked up, you're at risk of injuring it more if you play. So I don't know. I would be shocked if David Beard plays this Thursday, given that it's a short week.
If only they had another center in the lineup that they could slot in at center.
If only. They do, folks, if you're wondering.
Yeah, Mark Cordy last year was their center. So they have that. So that's the part that, because like that's such a crucial spot, though, at least for running an offensive line. So at least they'd have him there. Big concern on the left guard spot, but at least it's not concern at center. Mark Cordy will slide over to center. Let's get to our off-topic topic. For William Huff, since 1952, William Huff has provided industry-leading advertising solutions for thousands of valued clients. Their unparalleled customer service, combined with decades of industry experience and desire to make every job the very best it can be, is what they call the William Huff Advantage. Visit the website, williamhuff.com, or give him a shout, 780-454-4536. Bruce and his team do just absolutely amazing work there. You see it with us here in our studios, and you'll see it with our studios in the new place, because we'll get Huff to do it there too. Off-topic topic today, Jay.
Well, Coob, do you have that video of Huss? If you want to get that ready, today on the Lock Shop, it was discovered that the Hustlerama, our guy out of WST, Winnipeg Sports Talk, has not seen the inside of a grocery store for about 7 months. I was shocked. I was completely shocked. And it's going to lead to our off-topic topic, but I want to cue it up here so you guys can hear the story, because I think it took Dustin by surprise as well. So, Coob, if you want to let that baby fly.
If you take Dusty by surprise with something like this, that says a lot, I would have to say.
Yeah. Here we go.
I'm not a frequent visitor to regular grocery stores?
Yeah, regular, legitimate grocery stores. But I have been in there enough.
Like, do you ever roll in and get a cart full of groceries?
Listen, The last time I was there, and I realized it had probably been about 6 to 7 months since I'd been in a Safeway. This was what I got. I got some Johnsonville Brats, which I love, and some buns. I think I got some butter tarts. I got about 4 or 5 frozen pizzas. Got a rack of Diet Pepsi. Think I got some chips. I think I did go through the produce thing, and I got one of those little things of the cut up pineapple. Love pineapple.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah.
Figured that was a bit of a change.
Okay, so it sounds like Huss shops at 7-Eleven, right? So, but that's okay. If that is your routine, then that's fine. But I talked to Matt about it right away, and both Matt and I love the experience of grocery shopping.
There's nothing like getting to walk through a grocery store.
Yeah.
I will do aisle by aisle almost every time I go.
See, okay, so that is something different from me. I will not, but that's what the off-topic topic is. So send this all in. You can hit us up on the Nasty Chat or the River Cree Resort and Casino hotline at 780-218-9999. Tell us how you shop for groceries. What's your routine? Do you take a list or do you go no list? Is Costco in play or is Costco out of play? Do you ever mix in the odd visit to the dollar store or Dollarama, or is you like Dollar Tree?
Dollar Tree's the goat of them. Dollar Tree greater than Dollarama.
Do you partake in the first Tuesday of every month, as that's 15% Tuesday?
I never go for that one.
See, that's a big miss. That's a major in the Milne house because we have a couple big stand-up freezers at our house.
Wow.
And we fill, you get your meat and stuff because on 15% Tuesday, it's the same price as shopping at Costco pretty much. But you don't have to get the massive quantities. It's a real good, it's a veteran move. If you are not taking advantage of 15% Tuesday.
But you have to spend a certain amount to get that, don't you?
No, you don't.
No?
I don't think so. But I never spend, like, we usually spend quite a bit. Like, you're talking a $60-some discount for saving that much, right? So you load up. And you get the Ritz crackers and the fish crackers and the Cheez-Its.
I love goldfish.
All the stuff my girls like. And you, apparently.
Who doesn't love goldfish?
I'm not a goldfish guy.
Oh, I crushed a couple yesterday.
Did you?
Yes.
We're a big rice cracker house. We're a big Ritz house. And a goldfish house. Oh, and Baby Bells. The little cheese wheels.
Yeah, I know what a Baby Bell is.
Well, I don't know.
Of course I know what a Baby Bell is.
So, Duck Dad says, I think you have to spend $50 to get to 15%. But I mean...
Yeah, see, I'm under that usually.
How?
I'm a single guy.
What do you buy?
I don't need to buy... Like, I could go to a grocery store and spend like $25-$30. I get what I need.
Get a couple packs of steak and a couple packs of chicken breasts and you're ready to go.
Yeah, but
you've got a freezer in your fridge.
Yeah.
Clean that thing out. Get it organized.
Get some... Well...
Take advantage of 15% Tuesday.
That's the thing, but... For the bigger stuff, I generally go to Costco.
I love Costco.
For quantities and things like that.
Collingwood Rob says, like Costco Safeway with a list on my phone, but I do all the aisles in case they have something new.
That's it. Well, so there's the two types of grocery store visit for me. If it's a list one, I grab my car. Usually it's a basket, and I'm going and getting everything on my list, and I'm not doing anything else. I'm there because I'm doing something very specific.
So are you making a specific supper?
Yes.
And you're going
I've
to
got
get
a meal.
Okay.
I'm going to make this tonight. I need these ingredients. I'm going for this.
Okay.
If I'm going to just go grab some groceries, I'm out of veggies. I'm out of fruit. I need to go pick those up. I'm going to go to the grocery. I like grabbing the cart then and then walking through because you're right. You just never know what deals you might miss out on. You never know what deal you might see. Hey, this is 3 for $6 or whatever. It's like, I need to get these. Now, I'm also in a unique spot, though, because I live downtown and I live across the street from a grocery store. There's a Loblaws, but it's a small one. So there's not a lot it's not a lot there's not a lot of selection. So it's also extremely easy to just go through that one. But then there's the Safeway in Oliver Square, or Unity Square, it's called now. I love walking that one. Or the Save-On 109th. I love walking it aisle for aisle. It's great. You never know what you're going to miss. There might be that deal that you're like, oh, I need this.
Okay, so
Also,
at Costco,
actually, quickly,
yeah.
before you go, I will say this. One thing I love about Save-On and Safeway that I don't love about Loblaws or Walmart, when you see the deal, let's say it's 3 for $6. That works out to $2 per.
Correct.
If you're at Safeway or Save-On, you could buy one for $2. You don't have to do the $3 for $6 deal. You
But
could
then
buy,
it's not a deal.
but it's this. They say it's 3 for $6. You could buy just one for $6 or one for $2. Like let's say it's regular $3 or whatever. You get it. You could get it for the singular. You could just buy one. Whereas Walmart and Loblaws, you have to buy the 3 for $6. There's your hack.
I was not apprised to this.
Save on a Safeway. If you see a deal 2 for $15 or whatever, is because there's just buy. You could buy just one. You don't have to buy the 2 if you don't want the 2. You could buy one and you still get the deal.
Sobeys is the closest for us, but I have realized now, because here's the other thing too, is we all have memories of Costco from younger years when there was one on the south side, one on the north side.
At 50th Street.
Right?
Yeah, that's when I
91st
was
Street.
going.
And then the 50th Street on the north side.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, now there's Costco's there's one in Sherwood Park. So going to Costco, you're not waiting in line for 40 minutes or half an hour. It's not so much of a nuisance anymore. So Costco, I will walk the aisles. I will walk the food aisles. I won't walk the electronics and pans and light and flooring aisles.
I go for EST.
Yeah.
For water stuff. I walk every aisle when I'm there.
Well, I understand why, because they're always coming out with new sauces. They're always coming out with new frozen items.
And then you got to stop for the samples.
I'm not a big sample guy.
What is wrong with you?
I couldn't be like, okay. I don't feel like having a peanut butter cracker.
If I'm walking
right
by,
now.
it's there. I'm taking it. Oh my God.
Boop.
That's one of the perks that you get from being at Costco, though. But
Thank you.
I see the annoyance of it because you are shopping, right? It's not. Sometimes it could be.
Can
a
I
full
be honest though?
experience.
I don't. I feel bad if I'm going to take a sample and I have to play the game. You know what game I'm talking about? This is.
No, you don't.
Wow, this
You don't have to do that.
dill pickle hummus
You're
is
too nice of a guy,
fantastic.
You
though.
don't have to do that
Ooh,
at Costco.
hey, can you point
No.
out where this dill pickle hummus is? And then
You're doing this wrong.
The sweet lady's like, "Oh, it's right here," and you're like, "Okay, I just got to go somewhere else, but I'll be back to get the hummus. Don't you worry, sweetheart."
I have to do that at farmers markets, and it bothers me at farmers markets. I love trying the things at the farmers markets, but then it's just like, how do I get out of this? Here's what you do at Costco. All you have to do is walk up, grab one, say thank you. I always loves hearing thank you, and just keep walking.
See, my
and then
mom.
you eat it. You move the cart down a little bit, and then you eat it. And you don't eat it in front of them, so you don't have to play that game. That's how you do it.
Growing up, though, my mom was a samples lady for Oliviera.
Yeah.
Do you remember the pasta? Well, I think they're still around.
Yeah. Okay.
And she would, I've seen enough of that side of things. My mom would come home with 5-gallon pails full of white sauce
So you should be
and
loving
red
this.
sauce.
You should be grabbing.
She was great at it.
But yeah, you just grab and walk away.
Yeah.
Grab and walk away. That's all you have to do.
That's the first
And say
time
thank you.
I discovered I was allergic to hazelnuts and Brazil nuts. Was I had a cookie at the Safeway in Sherwood Park, and it was loaded with Brazil nuts, and we needed to go to the hospital.
How do you grocery shop? 780-218-9999. That is the River Cree inbox. Or you can jump into the Nasty Chat. We are live from the Banquet Studios here on the west end of town. Celebrate your birthday at the Banquet Bar. Amazing drinks, great vibes, and unforgettable memories. Book your party today at thebanquetbar.com.
Wow,
We
these
got
are rolling
Jay's
in, man.
play of the day. We'll get back to the off-topic topic. Dan Rao from the Canadian Press Talk CFL later in this hour as well. He's Jay, I'm Matt. Here's Zach with a sports update.
Today's Elks injury report had David Beard missing practice with a calf injury, while Mark Cordy was absent for non-football related reasons. He's listed as a full participant moving forward. And Edmonton has signed 24-year-old defensive lineman Elijah Alston to their practice squad, with Alston fresh off a season with the Miami Hurricanes. In the NHL, the Flyers have acquired Trevor Zegras from the Ducks in exchange for Ryan Poehling. this year's 45th overall pick and next year's 4th round selection. Well, in the AHL, the Canucks have the Checkers up against the wall in the Calder Cup final. Abbotsford leading 3-2 in the series. Puck drop at 5 o'clock. And NBA News has Chris Middleton of the Wizards picking up his player option for next season worth over $33 million, while for the Pacers, Tyrese Haliburton went down with a right Achilles tear last night in Game 7 against the Thunder. Haliburton is likely to miss next season. Baseball action sees the Red Sox and Angels battling, the Mariners meeting the Twins, while the D-backs and White Sox go at it. Toronto opens a 3-game series with Cleveland tomorrow. This sports update is brought to you by Paramount Flooring, proudly serving Edmonton and area for over 30 years. Their West End showroom is open 7 days a week. You can also shop online at paramountflooring.ca. Jay's play of the day for Play Alberta and much more brings us back on the other side of the break. I'm Zachary Kubish, keeping you up to date.
Two guys and a goalie.
There's the diehards, and I classify myself in that kind of column because I'd have friends call me. I'd have my family come, they'd know not to knock on my door because I'd be rattled, and I'd go for walks. I'm not much of a walker. I'd kick rocks on my walks. I'm not even joking. Like, it would seriously
Two guys
bother
and a
me.
goalie, presented by GS Construction. Tuesday and Thursday afternoons at noon, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Fridays just got a whole lot more fun. Spin the wheel at the banquet for your shot to win big and save on your bill. Spin, win, save. It's that easy. Details at thebanquetbar.com. The Banquet. Get real. Play hard.
GCL Diesel has been serving oil country since 1972. From diesel cars to SUVs to pickups. From farm tractors to school buses to a big rig. From diesel generators to forklifts, GCL can test, troubleshoot, and repair all diesel fuel system components. Whether it's injectors, pumps, turbos, filters, or additive, GCL has the parts you need to keep your diesel running the way it should. For genuine diesel parts at wholesale prices, visit GCL Diesel in the West End or online at GCLDiesel.com. GCL Diesel. Diesel understood.
Summer in Edmonton means 3 things: warm weather, long nights, and plenty of sports. From the lake to the links, you can boost your summer fun with hundreds of casino games, live betting on your favorite sports teams, and access to popular lotteries. All in one app, anywhere in the province. Download the Play Alberta app today and deposit $20 or more with promo code YAG50 to claim a $50 free bet. That's promo code YAG50 for a $50 free bet on us. Redeemable once per Play Alberta account. Remember, if you gamble, please use your game sense.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
Here's to the beautiful lakes and stunning landscapes Canada has to offer. And for the kayak, camping gear, and summer toys you used to enjoy them? Need extra space? Sentinel Storage. Try 4 weeks free. Visit sentinelstorage.ca. Happy Canada Day.
Click, click, click. Must you click? Please, please click. Must you click?
Matthew Iwanyk, Jay Milne. This is the Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne. The Reid will be back on Wednesday. Zachary Kubish with you here as well. Dan Ralph from the Canadian Press coming up in about 15 minutes' time as we'll talk some CFL with him. Later in the show, Paul Sir to talk some basketball, and Stephen Dunbar Jr., wide receiver for the Edmonton Elks. Oil understood for GCL also coming up at 4 o'clock, where we'll get into some Oiler discussion and the discussion that has been a lot going on with the Edmonton Oilers right now, which is goaltending. We want to continue with the off-topic topic. Just a few responses before we get to your play of the day for Play Alberta.
Yeah, we got to talk about this one. Andrew, the accountant, says, okay, my wife works in childcare, so we hit the dollar store almost every grocery trip. We make a list and hit up what's on the list. Only get Costco for stuff like paper towel, toilet paper, coffee. We just Instacart Costco, though, so we don't need a membership.
You don't need a membership? Is there a hack right now through that?
What is this sorcery?
I know there's an Instacart for it, but maybe so they might have messed it up, Costco. Take advantage of that while you can until Costco figures it out.
How That is just crazy.
Also, he's right on paper towels, toilet paper, coffee cups. Don't get those at dollar stores. Garbage bags, they're cheaper, but you get less. You need to get those at a different spot. 100%. A Dollar Tree, though, is still the one. I will throw this one out there. It's still things for $1.25, $1.50. Dollarama is now $4, $5, $6 for things.
But if you go in there and you look at the things that you can get at a dollar store that you would get at a grocery store, like we talked about Ritz, you can get those at a dollar store.
Yeah, you get those at Dollar Tree.
Considerably less expensive.
I'm just
considerably.
Go try a Dollar Tree.
I don't know, Matt. I don't know if I can do it. Tube Socks with quite a response here. My Sunday grocery routine. Every Wednesday when the grocery flyers come out, I go to my grocery notes and enter in the deals that I'm interested in for each store that I visit. Before heading out after breakfast on Sunday, there is a family meal planning discussion for the week, and any other requests for specific items are added to the list. First stop is Superstore. Although I have a list and the specials in my notes, I go down each aisle. Wow. And then he goes to Freshco. And then he goes to Safeway, where he gets his baked goods because he likes them better from there. And then it's off to the Crown and Tower for a few pints.
That's a good reward.
That is. Nate the Builder says, I'm 100% with Glue Guy on this one. Samples suck, and all they do is clog up the aisles with grocery carts and people waiting for them. They're a massive pain in the... That's from Nate the Builder.
I understand that, but here's the thing. Like, as a society, we need to be better. If there are no samples, just keep moving. If you want to circle back later in your walk and you want to walk back by, sure, go for it. But don't be standing there and waiting. The person's already doing their job. Like, they probably don't want the pressure of you standing there. But then also you load up, like if you leave your cart there and you're waiting, then it bogs up and then it's harder to get around everything. The samples are there if you're there. If they're not, move on. Keep going. You're not missing out on much. You're missing out on one cracker with a little bit of tuna on it. It's not end all be all.
What's your secret thing at Costco that is like not a day-to-day item, but you go to Costco and you're like, oh yeah, I'm going to get this.
I don't have one.
It's at Costco. What?
I don't have one.
Well, they're croissants. Have you tried those?
Yeah.
World class.
They've
got,
I don't know.
No, their granola bars are the best. They're Kirkland brand granola bars.
Yeah.
Really good.
I don't need to go to my way to go get them.
They've got this Japanese sauce in a squirt bottle.
Yeah.
Legendary. Great marinade as well. And the flowers. I mean, if you ever need to buy flowers, I doubt you ever would. But if you ever do need
cheaper?
to, they're cheaper and they're the best.
I don't know. There's a Safeway over here that's like the Safeways have a very nice bouquets and stuff. Certain one, like the one over in Terralosa, fantastic. You could get them in nice vases or vases if you want. There's I don't know. There's a lot of good places to get your flowers. I
always get torn on what to say.
That's why I said vases, vases.
Turning it to, I think when it's singular, you say a vase. If you're referring to a group of them, you'd say vases. Does that sound right? I find Costco flowers have more of a long run.
Okay, maybe they last longer.
They last longer.
Just take care of them better.
I don't know. I don't do anything once I put them in the water.
I know. Safeway's got the Loblaws. Actually, I'm surprised that little small Loblaws downtown that I'm at, they have quite a decent amount of flowers for the size of the store. I'm very impressed by that. And sometimes they get them for 50% off, so I could actually get flowers for myself and put them in my house.
Yeah. Flowers are nice.
They're very nice.
The dill pickle hummus, though, that I was, joking about with the samples, it is legit at Costco. You must do it.
You must.
Hey, why don't you do that, Matt? Play that little ditty that has to do with clips.
I can't.
Why?
It's muted.
Oh, right.
There we go.
Click, click, click. Must you click? Please, please click. Must you click? You must click. Thumb, thumb, thumb.
Thank you.
Please hit that thumbs up button. Now, we've got to get to Jay's play of the day.
It's Jay. It's play. He's Jay.
Come on, Matt. Dance with me.
It's Jay's play of the day. It's Jay's play of the day. Jay's play of the day.
Download the app today, playalberta.ca. Click on EST Specials, and you will have all of our specials go up there. EST Casino, we deposit 20 or more, will get you a $50 casino bonus. EST Sports, when you deposit 20 or more, will get you a $50 free bet. Or YEG50, when you deposit 5 or more for a $50 free bet as well. Jay, play of the day.
Well, the lines came out today on this week's CFL matchups, and Matty, you know as well as anyone that those lines, when they come out, they're usually spicy. And I would say during the week, they get corrected. Fair to say?
They, especially early in the season, yes.
Right? Because there's...
One line's already changed on me.
Which one?
I missed out on it. Owls were minus 2.5. It's now gone to 3. I should have jumped on that 2.5.
Who's starting at quarterback?
Jason Moss. Davis Alexander did not practice, but Jason Moss did say he's still an option for Friday.
So I'm going to the CFL. Look, do I think the Elks have a chance at winning this Thursday in Winnipeg? Of course I do. That's why they play the game. If it was a foregone conclusion, they'd already have the final standings completed. But I also think that this Elks team showed some signs of improvement from their first game to their second game. Say what you want, whether it was garbage time at the end of the game. Montreal still had all their starters in it. They ran the ball, okay, which was what everybody was clamoring for. They just weren't able to push the ball downfield with Trey Ford, who, by the way, Dan Ralph coming up after 3:40 will be asked about Trey Ford. Elks 9.5 points, Matt. That seems a little aggressive.
It doesn't to me.
Well,
on the post-game show, I said I expect 9.5, 10.
So plus 9.5 was normally minus 118. But as you know, our good friends over at Play Alberta like to give you the odds that you will not get anywhere else. You will not get this play at any other sports book. It's Jay's play of the day. It's Edmonton Elks plus 9.5 points this Thursday in Winnipeg. That is now even money. That is plus 100. So I am hammering that. Matthew, do you ride or do you fade?
I'm fading this one.
That would be cool if we could do that. Ride or fade. So you would then take the opposite.
I could just jump on the
when
Bombers
it applies,
at minus 120.
You could just, yeah. You wouldn't get that same.
No, I won't get that value, nor do I want it. I feel dirty saying that. There's just, when I look at the Elks going to Winnipeg. I
told you were a little spicy today.
It's one of those things where they don't do well out there. And Winnipeg through 2 weeks looks really good. They look like they look strong defensively, especially. And I predicted an Elks 0-3 start potentially here, where they start rattling off some victories. It's hard to win by 2 scores, though. Like, it is hard. Like, it's one of those. It's just so many points. How do you not go with the Elks? That it's almost just a safe play because it is plus money at this point. Maybe because you got it at plus money. I will have to ride, actually, because it's also not often when it comes to spreads you get plus money just in general, and you're talking about 2 scores at that point.
Yeah,
and you're getting plus money. I think I might have to ride now.
Maddie,
I've talked myself out of that one.
Maybe I've talked you into it by saying nothing.
It's the right number for me for this game, just because of how good Winnipeg is and how much growth the Elks team needs to still do. Like, it's not even the offense necessarily here. Is this Elks defense going to be able to contain Zach Collaros' offense? That I don't know. We haven't seen it this season. Well, we saw a little bit in the first half against Nathan Rourke, a little bit, but in the end, they blew it open. And then the only reason last week was able to get close was because MBT came in because Davis Alexander got hurt. I don't know if they could hold up Zach Collaros. But with Nick Dembski and Wheatfall and Schoen and Matthew Peterson. You know, I don't know what Brady's status is. I'm not expecting him for this one, but I don't know if they can stop that.
My question is what killed the Elks on defense the first 2 games was mental mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
One-on-one coverage is where you're blowing it, or zone coverage is when you're blowing it. That's fixable. So I have not written this Elks defense off. I think they can still ball. They just need to stop with the mental mistakes.
There's your Jay's play of the day.
It's Jay, it's play, he's Jay, it's today. It's Jay's play of the day. It's Jay's play of the day. Jay's play of the day.
We're going to get to a Zach Sports update on the other side of the break. Dan Ralph of the Canadian Press will stop by. We'll talk some Canadian Football League with him. He's Jay Milne. I'm Matt Iwanyk. Here's Zach with a sports update here on your clear choice for Edmonton Sports, Edmonton Sports Talk.
For the Elks, they've signed former Miami Hurricane Elijah Alston to the practice squad, with the 24-year-old defensive lineman spending the last 5 seasons playing NCAA football. Plus, Edmonton's injury report had David Beard absent from practice this morning with a calf injury, while Mark Cordy missed practice for non-football related reasons. Elsewhere, Tyrese Halliburton is likely to miss next season for the Pacers after he tore his right Achilles last night in Game 7 against the Thunder. Elsewhere, Washington's Chris Middleton picked up his player option for next season with the Wizards, worth over $33 million. In hockey, the Flyers and Ducks made a trade, seeing Anaheim's Trevor Zegras off to Philly in exchange for Ryan Poehling, this year's 45th overall pick, and a 4th rounder for next season. Meanwhile, there's 9 games in baseball, starting with the Rangers and Orioles going at it before the Braves play the Mets and the Reds challenge the Yankees. Tomorrow, the Jays and Guardians go at it for the first of a 3-game series. This sports update is brought to you by Clover Bar Feeds. Clover Bar Feeds has all the animal feed you'll need. Get top-notch service and selection from their family-owned business. Visit Clover Bar Feeds at 200 Portage Close in Sherwood Park, or call them at 780-467-5014. The CFL discussion continues on the other side of the break. I'm Zachary Kubish, keeping you up to date.
The Oil Stream.
Listen, I should stop cracking on David Thomasek.
You really hate David Thomasek.
I don't hate David Thomasek. What I hate is the principle of going and dipping into Europe, giving a guy guaranteed money, and he's done diddly squat as an NHLer. That, to me, I just don't believe in that philosophy. And if David Thomasek comes in and has a great season, kudos to the Oilers and their scouting staff.
The Oil Stream, presented by Boston Pizza. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday afternoons at noon. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Gallo LLP is an Alberta-based accounting firm with expert chartered professional accountants in both our Edmonton and Sherwood Park accounting firms. Our experienced and innovative accountants provide financial advice that saves our clients money. Simply put, we help our clients protect their assets and grow their businesses. At Gallo LLP, they go beyond the numbers to ensure the continued success of your business. Reach out to Preet or John to discuss how they can help your business grow. Visit gallollp.ca today and see how they can help you take your business to the next level.
Do you have pets? Horses? Chickens? Did the place you used to get your feed recently close down? Have no fear. Clover Bar Feeds is here. Whether it's dogs, cats, horses, or chickens, Clover Bar Feeds has you covered. Offering a large variety of food and feed, you can trust the experts at Clover Bar Feeds. They've been family owned and operated for over 60 years. This means you can expect nothing less than top-notch service and selection. Come visit them at 200 Portage Close in Sherwood Park, or visit them online at cloverbarfeeds.com.
Everyone knows when you need a truck now, you call Dawn.
That's right. You call us, Frontier Cartage, when you need driver coverage or have a truck that's down.
You call Dawn from Frontier Cartage.
When you've got way more freight to move than you thought.
You call Dawn from Frontier Cartage.
When you need a truck that's available and ready to start anytime you need.
You call Dawn at Frontier Cartage, 587-222-5826. 587-222-5826.
Looking for quality building materials and friendly advice? Visit us at Windsor Plywood Leduc, family owned and locally run since 1993. From interior materials for doors, flooring, baseboards, and all the finishing touches to all you need for your outdoor projects like cedar lumber for decks and fences, plus all the plywood you'd need. Our full-time on-staff carpenter can help with anything odd-sized or custom, and from domestic hardwoods to exotic selections, we've got you covered. And if we don't have it, we'll track it down for you. Windsor Plywood Leduc. We're the experts you need to know.
Let's begin now.
3:44. This is the Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne. No Reid, though. Matt Iwanyk in for Reid on this fine Monday. Well, not fine. I guess it's chilly out. Not the best outside. Dan Ralph will join us momentarily from the Canadian Press. Zach's trying to connect with him. Andrew, the count in the River PM box. Dollar Tree is superior, Matty. Give it a try.
I guess I'll have to.
Give it a try.
Uncle Jesse says, I'll clarify the Costco Instacart thing.
Yeah, I saw this.
Because my wife tried to order without inputting her membership info, and you pay a premium versus regular Costco.
You don't get the
membership
Costco rates. So that makes sense.
Okay, that makes
Which
sense.
you could go in, like, there are ways to go in. Oh, there used to be ways to go in Costco and you'd, or is that Wholesale Club? I think it's Wholesale Club. You could walk into and buy their stuff, but they will pay, you have to pay a higher price. I don't think Costco lets you in at all.
Can you
They also
still
have those
go into
scanners.
Costco if you're a non-member
No.
and get a hot dog?
Oh, you're supposed to be able to because you have to go through the return area. They also now scanning cards as you go into the main area.
Yes.
But you're supposed to be able to still go and get that. I don't know. I'm a Costco member, bro.
Me too. Are you a gold member?
Business member.
Or what am I?
I'm business. Got the business card.
What am I? Executive.
Executive member.
I got the black card, baby. Yeah. How do you feel?
I'm business. I've got a business card. I'm there for business.
That's anybody.
Do you remember back in the day when they actually opened an hour early? We were talking about the old place.
Yes.
It was, and my parents would go that hour before because there's certain members' cards could get in earlier, and it was better to avoid the lines. Joining us now from the Canadian Press, it is Dan Ralph. We will talk some Canadian Football League. But Dan, are you a member of Costco? Do you happen to go to Costco and endure the lines that are at Costco?
I am not a member. My wife is. So guess what? I have to go and endure.
Do you stop for samples, or are you like Jay and you're a guy that avoids those samples?
Again, I go to Costco. My wife goes. She gets the samples and brings them back to me, or else I wouldn't try anything on my own.
I like that.
That's a concise answer.
That's the way to do it. Okay, Dan, let's talk some week three.
Because I'll be honest. I want to go into Costco, get what I want, get the heck out.
Yeah, that Costco, I believe, is the most important place to have a list in hand.
Have a plan.
Because
yes, sir.
You can have
Yes,
6
sir.
items in your cart, and next thing you know, you have a $400 bill when you get to the register. So you need to execute and have a firm plan in hand. I agree with that, Dan.
They also have for me.
I would agree with that.
They have the self checkouts, and I don't want to be that guy that's taking a full cart through self checkout. So I know I'm going through self checkouts in my mind. I can only put in so much into my cart because I'm going through self checkout.
I've never done a self checkout at Costco.
There we go.
I like when you go through and they box the items for you. They package those things in there like you're trying to ship them overseas. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm a big fan of the I'm the big fan of the self checkout because when we go, the list is the list, and so and we try not to deviate from it because I don't want to go to the bank and ask for a loan. So.
Dan, we are 3 weeks into the CFL season. Has anything stood out to you from these first 3 weeks? Has anyone surprised you with how they've played through this early start to the CFL season?
Probably the Calgary Stampeders. I think would be my surprise. I did not expect them to go 2-0. And having said that, I expected them this week to go 3-0, but Mother Nature and the Ottawa Redblacks had something to say with that about that. I'm not surprised with Winnipeg. I'm a little surprised about your team. I would think I kind of thought that the Elks would come out and be 1-1 or maybe 2-0. Who knows? But no, I expected maybe a win or two there. And then I did not expect through going into week 3 that Montreal would have all of the East Division's wins. Now that Ottawa took care of that, but we still have 2 Southern Ontario teams that are over. So I mean, those are probably my early team surprises.
Dan Ralph from the Canadian Press talking some CFL here on the Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne and guest host Matthew Iwanyk. We're obviously in the heart of Elks territory here. And from our point of view, at least from mine, I thought there was signs of improvement from this team from their week 1 loss in British Columbia to last week at home against Montreal. What have you seen from the Elks that might brighten the spirits of the Elks faithful that are listening, if anything?
Well, I'm still, there's a lot of change on that defense. And there's some really good players on that defense. And I think it's going to take a while for them to maybe gel with what the coaches want. I think that defense is going to be very, very good. We saw Robbie Smith last year. We saw Jake Serezna last year. We saw Brinkman last year. All three of those guys were big, big contributors to the Argo team that won the Grey Cup. So there's some good players there. And I think, Royce Mechie, I like the offense. I think once Trey gets more acclimated, I guess, to being the starter, I just think every game I see him play, there's one play that he makes that makes me just go, wow. Now, if he could maybe have 2 or 3 of those in a game and maybe flip the field a couple more times a game that way, 2 things happen. 1, you score more, and 2, you keep your defense off the field and let them rest up. So, I think there's grounds for optimism. I really do. I think they're good. I like Rankin as a running back. I like Trey. I like the offensive line. I like the defensive line a lot. And I just think, you've got still the bulk of the season ahead of you. And you got those head-to-head games with the West that are really going to really be important. So, I'm still optimistic. I would still be optimistic with this team.
You just mentioned Trey Ford, and obviously he was given the keys to this offense, but has had a rough start, fair to say, in this season. How long do you think the leash is for Trey Ford before they would maybe try it and change something and put Cody Fajardo in?
Very. I think it would be very, very. I don't think you make a commitment to the guy that you make, and then give him 4 or 5 games and say you're gonna make a change. I think it's his job, and I just think he does things, with all due respect to Cody, that Cody cannot do, and so I think if you put Cody in the offense, you have to change things up a bit. But I just think here's a guy that for the first 3 years made 18 starts and was herky-jerky in terms of, as long as you're winning, you're going to be our starter, and then as soon as you do something bad, we take you out. I think he's got to know that even if he makes a mistake, even if they don't win, that he's the quarterback next week, and build upon that. I don't think you do anybody any good by playing musical chairs at the quarterback position. I think he was obviously the organization's guy back when he signed, and I think he has to stay the organization's guy moving forward. And I think you got to live with the fact that he's still a young quarterback. He's still learning. And he's only in his 4th year of pro, and he hasn't played full time. So I would not be giving him a short leash. Not at all.
You've talked about a lot of those defenders that have moved from Toronto to Edmonton. Toronto's off to the rough start here. I know after their loss to Saskatchewan, Coach Ryan Dinwiddie, he came out and he was very frustrated with his team. What do you take away as you look at the Toronto Argonauts? There are a lot of changes. Is this a case of, like Edmonton, just with all those changes, it's just going to take time to gel? Or what is your outlook when you look at the early season for the Argos?
I look at what they lost, and I look at what they have, and I think their losses far outweigh what they have in terms of contribution, in terms of strength. Let's just look at the defense alone. There's 7 starters gone from last year's Grey Cup team. And then now all of a sudden you've got Wynton McManus out, who's your heart and soul of the middle linebacking core. So, you've got 2/3 of the defense that led you to a Grey Cup gone. And, the only, Derek Parrish is the only returning defensive lineman, and he got hurt last week, and he was out early. So there's a lot of youth, a lot of inexperience, and on that defense, and you know, and it showed at times. But I thought they deserved a somewhat better fate against Saskatchewan. But by the same token, too, you don't put 11 men on your kickoff team, and after you've come back to tie it, and you know, expect to defend one of the best kick returners in the league. And you know what? If Mario, he could still be running for all we know. I mean, you know, he didn't. Nobody laid a glove on him, and it's bad. It's hard enough to defend against him with 12. Now all of a sudden, you don't have anybody to account for the returner per se. You're asking for trouble, and so I just, you know, and I don't know how much different they're going to be offensively if and when Chad Kelly comes, because the problem I'm finding with Nick Arbuckle is that he's getting hit a lot, and they don't have a running game, and both of those problems stem from an offensive line, I would think. So, you know, you're not going to put. I don't think you're going to put Chad behind that offensive line right now if he can't protect himself, and that's the term that Coach Dinwiddie keeps using all the time about whether or not Chad's going to play. And to date, he has always said that Chad is unable to protect himself, which tells me he's unable to run and escape pressure. So, and until he can do that, then I think it's Nick's. I think it's Nick's ball, and I would expect to see Nick start again this week.
One quarterback the eyes will be on is Davis Alexander, whether he'll be ready for and available for Montreal later this week. And Amos today said, you know, like he'll be there, but there's a chance of it. He didn't practice today, though. But, you know, Davis Alexander is undefeated as a starting quarterback in the Canadian Football League through his 2 years now here. How impressed are you with his play? And like right now, are we looking at an early, you know, MOP candidate right here with the way that Davis Alexander started off his season?
Well, I think he's going to garner attention, but I'll be honest with you, fellas. I don't start looking at MOPs until September. And I mean, I'm just old school that way, you know. And but I mean, it's hard not to look at the guy when he is undefeated as a starter, and he does the little things right. And I keep forgetting that he is such a young man that. You know, and I mean, that's a compliment to the way he's playing. I mean, he's playing confidently, and he's got the confidence of his offense. He can run when he has to. He has a good arm. He can make all the throws, and he's got an ex-quarterback as his head coach, and he's got an ex-quarterback as his offensive coordinator. So, damn, you know, if he has any questions, he's got a pretty good information base to draw that from. But he's been very, very good. I won't say lights out because he hasn't been, but on that team he doesn't have to be, you know. I mean, he's got really good receivers. He's got a really good offensive line, and he's got a decent running attack. He doesn't have to do it all himself. And then he's got that defense that is playing lights out so far this year. And as they would want to tell you, when the defense is getting turnovers and you're getting extra chances to move the ball, and you're a decent offense to begin with, and I think, you know, you're going to cash in on some of those opportunities, and there's a good reason why they're 3-0 right now. I think they're, in my mind, they're the most complete team in the CFL with 3 games under their belt, and I say that with a star beside Winnipeg because we've only seen 1 game with the Bombers with Zach under center, so I can't say the same.
Dan, as always, I really appreciate the time. Always love chatting CFL with you, and enjoy the rest of your Monday and enjoy week 4 coming up later this week.
Much appreciated, and stay out of Costco, gents.
There's Dan Ralph of the Canadian Press. Edmonton Elks, Winnipeg Blue Bombers. They'll open up week 4 as the Elks will head to Winnipeg. 5:30, Green and Gold kickoff show on Thursday. Jay and I will have that for you right here on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports for, I think, the rest of the summer until Labor Day. I think 4 games, 1 each day. For the CFL, we'll get Thursday nights, Friday nights, Saturday, and then the Sunday nights begin this week. I love the fact that there's this ending a week with some Canadian Football League, 5 o'clock on TSN and on CTV. It's the way it should be. It's the way it should be.
Absolutely.
Your thoughts, keep them coming in. 780-218-9999. That is the River Cree inbox. You could jump into the nasty chat. When we come back in the next hour, Paul Sir will join us to talk some NBA. He of 3x3 basketball. We got buying or selling for Damon Bunting. And up next, we got the oil understood. He's Jay Milne. I'm Matt Iwanyk. We'll have a Zach Sports update in a little bit. You're listening to the Reid Wilkins Show on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton Sports.
The Lock Shop.
What did you say? I'm not a frequent visitor to regular grocery stores?
Yeah.
Like, do you ever roll in and get a cart full of groceries?
Listen, the last time I was there, and I realized it had probably been about 6 to 7 months. This was what I got. I got some Johnsonville brats and some buns. I think I got some butter tarts. But yes, Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
Major League Baseball. What the?
The Lock Shop, weekday mornings at 11, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
If you aren't wearing a Connect belt, what are you waiting for? A one-size-fits-all belt with a smooth, hole-free track system makes it adjustable for the perfect fit. With fully customizable options, you can choose your belt color, material, and buckle to suit your style. 100% Canadian-owned and operated, Connect belts are designed for work, everyday wear, and even a round of golf. Check out the large selection of men's and women's styles at www.knktbelts.com. Connect belts, the perfect fit every time.
River Cree Resort and Casino on K97 proudly present Steve Earle and Reckless Kelly. Featuring small band and acoustic performances, Steve Earle and Reckless Kelly in the venue July 25th. Tickets at rivercreekresort.com.
River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement. Bet on it.
Sunday through Thursday, 9 p.m. to close, head to the Banquet and dive into banquet burgers, sushi tacos, nachos, and more. Late night bites, big flavors, and epic deals. The Banquet. Get real. Play hard.
You've heard the name, but what does it mean? For over 66 years, William Huff Advertising has supplied signage from screen printing to digital to LED with design, production, and install in-house. It's a one-stop shop for all your signage needs. Edmonton owned and operated, William Huff has been trusted by the biggest companies and teams in the City of Champions and many others across the country to do the job. If you're looking for a way to get the word out about your company or event, they are the answer. Go to www.williamhuff.com. Their results speak for themselves.
For the Elks, Mark Cordy and David Beard missed practice this morning. Beard with a calf injury limited moving forward, while Cordy was absent for non-football related reasons. Staying with the Elks, they've signed defensive lineman Elijah Alston, the 24-year-old spending the last 5 seasons in NCAA football, fresh off a season in Miami with the Hurricanes. NBA News has Indiana's Tyrese Halliburton likely to miss next season for the Pacers after he tore his right Achilles last night against the Thunder in Game 7. Elsewhere, Chris Middleton of the Wizards picked up his player option for next season, worth over $33 million, and former 9th overall pick Trevor Zegras has been traded from the Ducks to the Flyers, being traded for Ryan Poehling, this year's 45th overall selection, and a 4th rounder in next year's draft. On the schedule for baseball, there's 9 games. The Red Sox and Angels duke it out. The Mariners meet the Twins, while the Pirates take on the Brewers. Toronto's in action tomorrow against Cleveland to start a 3-game series. I'm Zachary Kubish. That was your sports update. The second hour of the Reid Wilkins Show starts right now.
It's hour 2, the Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne. I wish I could say I'm Reid Wilkins. But alas, I cannot. What I love about Matt Iwanyk, for those listening and then don't know, Zach Kubish with us here as well on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton Sports. Live on EdmontonSportsTalk.com, tune in iHeartRadio, Apple Music. Thank you to those watching on YouTube or listening on podcast. He calls me persnickety. I'll still throw this out there. And he calls me out for those things. But he's the same, if not more, persnickety on things, or like particular on things. He rips me for being particular on things, and yet he gets upset with people for the gentleman's sweep.
Well, because He doesn't believe that exists. I can't believe you're bringing this up.
Because he doesn't believe it.
He does believe there's one way.
Yeah, but it's not he doesn't believe that there's a thing called the gentleman's sweep.
Yes, he does. There's one way.
He doesn't. Does he go by that?
He will accept. I believe it's a win-win-win loss win. That is the only way of which he will accept a gentleman's sweep.
But there are different things that he jumps in on, and he gets upset if it's not done certain ways. And then if I do it, he mocks me for it. But he does it just as much.
I believe when he calls you persnickety, it's a compliment.
Well, it should be from him because he's the same.
You should take it as such.
He's the same.
Well, maybe because he's applauding you for being like him.
That's I hope he realizes there's a little of me in Reid, and there's a little of Reid in me.
I've never thought about it that way.
It's true.
Interesting.
Why do you think him and I are getting along with this volleyball game? Because we think the same.
Yes, you do have childish minds at times.
Do not. That is skill over there.
Yeah.
What do you play?
What do I play?
Yeah.
The Tecmo League.
Hey, you
forced me into.
I did not force anyone into it. In fact, I don't want anyone to win it.
What? I have a better record than
I want you to complain. No, you don't.
I do.
You do not have a better record than me.
Yeah, I do.
What's your record?
6-3.
I'm 6-3, I think. Or am I 7-3?
No, I'm 5-3.
So I have a better record.
I haven't played as many games.
And I challenged you last week and you ran.
I didn't run.
You hid. I don't want to play you right now.
I did not say that.
Yeah, you said I want to save that game for later.
Oh, I want to save it because you and I are locked in this office together for the next 16 weeks. For one night a year or a week. I thought, hey, why not do it then when we're filling time at a halftime? You know what I mean?
We do not have time for a game at halftime.
I'll play you. I'll bust your chops whenever you want. I have beat you twice. I have beat you twice already.
Yeah, and I also, when I had just one of my teams, I'm better.
Oh, stop.
Give me the Houston Oilers and I'll take you down. I struggled with. We're not getting into this right now. There are no Tecmo games today. In this hour, we will connect with Paul Sir. We will get to Damon Bunting's buying or selling. Your thoughts always welcome. It is the River Cree inbox, 780-218-9999, presented by River Cree Resort and Casino, home of the kitchen restaurant. All you can eat surf and turf for just $59.99 every Friday from 4 until 10 o'clock. Let's get to Oil Understood.
Well, we got to dive into this goaltending conversation, right?
Yes.
And I asked this earlier in the bullpen. Do you think the Oilers lost the Stanley Cup because of goaltending? I know it's a broad question, but it seems to be answered quite simply by a large majority of people. And the answer generally is yes. Do I think it contributed to a loss? Yeah. But I don't think that you can solely put that on the tandem of Stuart Skinner and Calvin Pickard.
I agree. Just because Leon and Connor weren't Leon and Connor at that level that we want to see them for the majority of that series.
They were still great compared to others, but to them,
what they do, they weren't at their level. Depth scoring was a reason they got to the Stanley Cup final. Depth scoring dried up. If depth scoring is producing, I don't think it matters what happens to goaltending. If Leon or Connor are producing at that level that we're expecting, taking over that one game, I think we at least see game 7 at that point. But if goaltending was a little bit better, does everyone else play ahead of them better? Possibly, likely. I understand where people are coming from with the goaltending. By the way, GCL Diesel, Oil Understood is brought to you by GCL Diesel. Providers of the best diesel engine components around, from turbochargers to injectors, fuel pumps to sensors. They're the critical engine component experts. Proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years, and now a partner of ESD and the Reid Wilkins Show. GCL Diesel. Diesel. Understood. So we want to get into goaltending here.
Well, yeah. Do you upgrade Calvin Pickard and keep Stuart Skinner to further develop?
It depends on which goalie you go and get. That's part of it. It's like, because let's say there's a Jeremy Swayman. Let's say that's a name that's been thrown out there.
Sure.
Is that not going to cost you Stuart Skinner?
Like
that's where this to me changes. Is like, who do you go get, and does that impact who you're getting? Like John Gibson, the reports are right now, according to Elliot Freeman, he would be willing to come to Edmonton, but at the deadline, he was willing to come to Edmonton, but not to be a 1A, 1B with Stuart Skinner. He wanted the net type thing. So these are the questions you have to have if you're Stan Bowman and you're Jeff Jackson. So I think it starts with, if you believe goaltending would have been the difference and the deciding factor, which goalie out there do you believe will be that goalie that could put you over the top, and is that going to cost you Stuart Skinner? If it's going to cost you Stuart Skinner, I'd make that move. But somebody like Joel Hoffer with St. Louis, I'm not giving up Stuart Skinner and going with another. Like he's largely unproven. I'd rather have Stuart Skinner with him as a tandem. So it depends, I guess, on who you're targeting.
But would it be fair to say that Stuart Skinner is relatively young goaltender in the league? I mean, he's been in the league for 5 years.
Yes.
He's had the net for 3 of them.
Sure.
He's put up pretty good numbers. And oh, by the way, he's led this team to back-to-back Stanley Cup finals.
But the flip side to that is if you go into the Cup era, like the Cap era, and you go Stanley Cup final goaltenders by save percentage, he has 2 of the worst save percentages in any series. That imagine if you had a little bit better goaltending. Like the one argument you will get from the other side is that the Oilers got to the Cup final in spite of Stuart Skinner, not because of Stuart Skinner.
That's a fair point. But Stuart Skinner still has 1 year left on his deal. He's a $2.6 million cap hit. Like you threw out Jeremy Swayman. Okay, he's in year 2 of 8 of an $8.25 million deal.
Mm-hmm.
He's 33 years old. You know, Skinner's younger. Yeah, he's more inexperienced, but the thought of giving up on somebody that is relatively young and can only grow and get better, at least in my opinion, is absurd. Especially, I mean, at $2.6 million, the Oilers are not in cap heaven, right?
No, but it's going to start going up, and he's going to be out of contract next year. So what's the contract for him next year? 2.6. Like both goalies are gone after next season. I stand by. What if you got 905 save percentage from your goaltending in the Stanley Cup final?
Well,
which is below average. Bobrovsky was higher than that.
I don't know.
In the Stanley Cup final,
I know he had a career high.
Sergei Bobrovsky was a lot higher in the Stanley Cup final. I'll pull it up here. I'm talking just a 905 save percentage. What do you get from the Edmonton Oilers? Like what changes that? Sergei Bobrovsky is
he was a 914 save percentage this playoffs. Career playoffs, he's been 907.
Are you sure that's just this playoffs? I see 914 for his career.
914 for the playoffs. Career
in the
playoffs. 907.
Oh, okay, right. But I'm talking about just the Stanley Cup final series.
Oh. Okay.
Like even if you want to just go in the Cup final this year, what was Sergei Bobrovsky throughout this NHL season or these playoffs? Let me quickly find it. Here, save percentage. These are playoffs. Bobrovsky was a 914 in these playoffs. Stuart Skinner was an 889. What if you had a 905 save percentage from Stuart Skinner? Honestly, there's a really good chance we are actually talking about the Edmonton Oilers winning the Stanley Cup. And that's back-to-back years that Stuart Skinner wasn't able to accomplish that. And look, he had a great run in these playoffs too, where I was talking about him as a potential Conn Smythe candidate. The thing about Skinner though is it's like I find it very interesting that when things go bad, everyone says, well, the defense isn't good. And then when things go well, it's, well, Stuart Skinner's playing so well.
But I guess, yeah, the question is, who do you go out and get?
And that's the tough part for this too, because
what's a guaranteed improvement? You don't know.
Well, that's the thing about goaltending. It's complete voodoo, and it's all a crapshoot. I stand by that.
Yeah, sure.
There's no guarantee.
So then why not?
There's no guarantees.
Limit that and stick with somebody that's here. Maybe bring in another project, if you will, to push Stuart Skinner. I'm not sure. I mean, Tristan Jarry's name was thrown out there. Coob, weren't you saying that Tristan Jarry was on waivers twice last year with Pittsburgh?
I at least brought him up once in my sports update, and I'm like, ooh, that's not a great look for Jari.
And he's making $5.3 million a year. He's still got 2 more years on his deal. You know, that's the reality of it. Is you can say, oh, the Oilers need to get a better goaltender all you want till you're red in the face. But what's out there?
Well, there are names. And mostly like Swayman would be out there. Thatcher Demko's one that's being thrown out there from Vancouver.
Injuries.
Yeah, that's the one I'm fearful of.
You know, and Swayman was finally given the net for the full year, had his worst year on record. Now, that's not to say he can't bounce back. And I don't know why I said he was 33 years old. I understand he's 26. But there's question marks. You might have summed it up best, Matt. It is a crapshoot.
There's just no guarantee. Like Cam Talbot looked great when he first came here for a couple of years, and then he got run out. You know, just he played so much hockey, he just couldn't replicate it. It's Jack Campbell for some. And look, I will say this: there was a lot in oil country that were excited about the Jack Campbell deal, that wanted the Jack Campbell deal. Hindsight 2020, there's a lot of people, what a terrible deal. But there's a lot of people in this market that thought this was the deal. And in terms of fans out there, the Oilers thought it was the right deal. Didn't work. Like a lot of teams go out there thinking, here's our guy, and it doesn't pan out. And I will go to, like, you could have Henrik Lundqvist made it to a cup final. He never won it. Harry Price never, did he get to one cup final? Yeah, he would have been in one cup final. But he's not a Stanley Cup winner. Roberto Luongo, as a player, is not a Stanley Cup winner. A lot of great goalies have played this game that haven't won it all. It's you got to get the goalie that's hot at the right time. And that's why it is a little difficult. So to me, there's no easy answer. Whatever the Oilers go do, okay, we'll see how it plays out. Unless you win a cup, that goal, you're going to get ripped for it to a degree if it doesn't work out.
Is there any part of you that questions if Stuart Skinner even wants to remain an Oiler?
No.
I mean, this is a guy that's been the butt of it jokes for the problem here in Edmonton for the last 2 years. His family's received death threats.
Which should not happen.
That's terrible.
That's
terrible, it's not like Edmonton's the only place that happens, but this is a tough market to be a goaltender in. He's grown up here. He's played most of his life here. Do you think he just doesn't want to say, how the heck with this? I would like to go somewhere else.
If he thinks that, I'm trading him in a heartbeat. I don't want that attitude from my player. That's the problem right there.
Oh, for sure. I agree.
That to me tells me he can't handle the pressure of this market. He can't. If that is the case, if Stuart Skinner's having any of those questions, then he has to go. If I'm Jeff Jackson or Stan Bone, I don't want that in my locker room. I want a guy that sits here and is able to block out that noise. To me, then it'd be like, that's maybe why there are struggles. If that's the type of, if that is how he's feeling right now, then yes, he's got to go. Trade him in a heartbeat. It's not even up for discussion at that point to me. If it crosses his mind even slightly, he's gone. If I was Jeff Jackson or Stan Bowman.
Yeah. I just think that you can look at this and say, I guess what I'm trying to say is there's no way you can point your finger directly at the crease of the Edmonton Oilers and say that's the reason.
There's no singular reason the Oilers lost the cup this year.
Didn't get the Stanley Cup.
No. You can make an argument that Paul Maurice maybe outcoached Chris Knobloch in the series.
Or Florida was just like Florida's got it going. Their forecheck was suffocated.
Tired the team out. The Oilers, as we said, the depth scoring, third line. What were the third line goal versus third line goals? What were those numbers? Like there's just a lot of reasons that you could point to as to why the Florida Panthers beat the Edmonton Oilers. It's not singular on a goaltending. But that said, if you could get an upgrade, I think you have to go do it. I don't think you could run back Skinner and Pickard again next year. And if that means Skinner has to go, so be it. If that means Pickard has to go, so be it.
I guess whatever they do, they're going to have to get pretty creative here, right? I mean, right now the Oilers have a cap space of $11.96 million.
Yeah.
Obviously, and we'll talk about Evander Kane coming up here. But the belief is that Victor Arvidsson might move.
Yes, that both sides would like a fresh start.
Jeff Skinner's probably not going to be back. What do you think of Connor Brown? Because I heard somewhere today. Did you hear that in the office today? Somebody was talking about something about maybe a 4-year deal with Connor Brown.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of that?
As long as the number's okay, I'm good with that. It's also one. Those type of players to me, they're replaceable. You can go replace them.
Yeah.
There's someone else on the market. There's someone else in free agency. Don't overpay for anyone. You don't have to give that extra $500,000 or $1 million to someone just to keep them here. One of the things, you're the Edmonton Oilers right now. You've gone to back-to-back cup finals. You should be sitting there, who wants to play for us? And you should be finding people that want to play for less because they want to go win a cup. Connor Brown wants to do that, but it's going to cost you 4 years. Go for it. But the money part, to me, it's got to come in under. And if it's not, we'll go find someone else. We're the Edmonton Oilers. Where are you coming out on Connor Brown? Potentially 4 years.
Like you said, it depends on term, but I guess, price at that 4-year deal. I mean, I still don't understand the Trent Frederick rumblings. I mean, we talked about that a lot last week, but 8 years, $4 million that price seems high if you're giving that guy that kind of term. So I don't know. It's going to be an interesting offseason because there's so much that needs to happen. And I'm not a magician, but I mean, obviously there's going to have to be some trades, right? Some of these salaries are going to have to come off the books. And, oh, by the way, you've got to go pony up and sign Evan Bouchard.
I want to correct. Dr. John and Chris Hadaway both have this. I'll read Dr. John's one. Come on, Matty. You can't say a guy can't handle pressure and should be traded because he's mad his family received death threat. That's ridiculous. I'm not going on that part. I'm going on where Jay said maybe wants a fresh start. Maybe is tired of all the criticisms he's getting. Jay labeled many of things there. The family death threat, that has to go aside. No one should have to deal with that one. But you may have to deal with that in other markets too. Like, that's not exclusive to Edmonton. I'm talking about the other stuff to this. If he's sitting there saying, I can't handle the criticisms of Edmonton Oilers fans. I can't handle the criticisms that I'm facing. I'm a local kid and I'm dealing with a lot extra here. That's the part I'm referencing there. If he can't handle that part, the game part of the criticism, then he has to go. He won't win a cup here because then he's not going to be able to handle it in Game 7 of a Stanley Cup final. He's not going to be able to handle it in the Stanley Cup final again. That just is into the mind of the player in my mind in a situation like that. When it comes to the depth, that's a different story in that part. And there's also those people that send those death. It's not credible. Those things are never credible. There are those people that send it are gutless.
Oh, absolutely. But unfortunately, that happens.
I know.
And unfortunately, Edmonton seems to be a place that is very hard to play. And unless you're a superstar, then you're usually catching a lot of heat, which I get it. It comes with the territory. But at some point, I wonder if a guy just says, you know what, the hell with this. I'm going to go somewhere where I can walk outside and nobody's going to recognize me. And I still get to play hockey and I still get to be paid a lot of money. Because guess what? When Stu Skinner's contract comes up, I mean, after next season, he's a UFA at 2.6. Mm-hmm. He's getting a pay raise.
But what's that pay raise look like?
I don't know.
Is that a $5 million type pay raise, or is he jumping up to the swingman at 8? And it's going to depend. Like, if he won a Stanley Cup, be closer to the 8, I would assume. But he hasn't won that cup.
If he wins a Stanley Cup, you pay him whatever it is. He would stay in Edmonton. At least you'd think so.
Not whatever.
Matt, if we could summarize this, Oil understood for GCL Diesel. I do not want to give up on Stuart Skinner, especially considering he's costing you $2.6 million and you got him locked up for another year. I think it would be foolish to move on and start another project because they are finicky. You don't know what you're going to get. Look at Connor Hellebuyck, God's greatest goalie in the regular season. Are they saying fire Hellebuyck, get rid of Hellebuyck in Winnipeg?
Some people were calling for a goaltending change during the playoff series, though.
I know, but they're not. But Stu Skinner led his team further than him. I mean, it doesn't make sense to give up and just move on, especially given the cap predicament they're in.
It depends on the name. Like, and I'll stand by this. Like, Skinner's a little further along in this naturally, and he's gotten further than this, but. Like, I was okay if Davis Alexander was going to be the guy coming to Edmonton, if the Elks were going to walk away from Trey Ford. I was okay with that. Cool. Because there's a lot of similarities to Skinner and Trey now, outside of, like, the early part. Like, Trey's a couple years behind. You've got a young guy, you're developing him. It's only been a few years. It's only been 3 full years is for Stuart Skinner. So I get that point of it. But there does come a point where you also have to win. And also, it's just who's coming in. And I wouldn't sit here if I'm Jeff Jackson or Stan Bowman saying, I ain't moving this guy at all. I wouldn't sit here and say, I have to move this guy at all. This is a year, like last year, I'd probably been more like, no, you run back with Stuart Skinner. This year, it would be, okay, well, who is the player that we're talking about replacing with? And that changes my argument.
If it were up to me, I'd run it back as it is. 3.6 mil for 2 goalies that are doing a pretty dang good job. And another year of experience under their belts. Another year of Stanley Cup final experience under Stuart Skinner's belt. And Calvin Pickard. I mean, the dollars just make sense.
The other thing is, I believe like they'll talk to their players. I heard. I thought I read today that they're going to talk to their players about it.
Who?
Stan Bowman will.
About the goaltending?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That sounds great from your general manager.
Why it does, but that's part of this too. We don't know what goes on behind that scene. It looks like they have full confidence in Stuart Skinner. Maybe that helps bring Stuart Skinner back too as well. If they sit there, no, we don't want this guy to go.
Phyllis says, hey, Jay and Matt, checked in number 65 to smash the like. If you have not smashed the thumbs up, we're not asking it to do it for Matthew. It's not boosting his ego. It's helping us in the algorithm, right, Matt?
Yeah.
That thing.
We've been told.
Helps
push us out.
It's like the cloud.
And if we want to learn,
knows what it is.
If you want to learn, have a word of the day today.
Oh, yeah.
We need to double that because I'm not doing the word of a day unless we get 130.
Yeah, he is definitely not going to do
What's the point of having rules if you're not going to follow the darn rules?
I agree.
We got Paul Sir, 3x3 basketball coming up later in this hour. Up next, buying or selling for Damon Bunting. He is Jay Milne. I'm Matt Iwanyk. We'll get to a Zach Skubish sports update. And then, like I said, we'll come back with buying or selling. Here's Zach here on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton Sports.
In the CFL, former Miami Hurricane Elijah Alston has been signed by the Elks to their practice roster. The 24-year-old defensive lineman spending 5 years in NCAA football. And staying in Edmonton, today's injury report had David Beard out with a calf injury while Mark Cordy missed practice for non-football related reasons. And the Oil Kings have made a trade to acquire Avalanche prospect Max Curran from the Americans in exchange for Edmonton's first-round pick in this year's import draft, a first-rounder next year's WHL prospects draft, and a couple future mid-round picks. Curran was selected by Colorado in the 5th round during last year's NHL draft. In soccer, Canada's Ali Ahmed is out for the rest of the Gold Cup after suffering an ankle injury during Saturday's match against Curacao. Ahmed is off to get further evaluation with the Vancouver Whitecaps. And NBA News has Pacers star Tyrese Haliburton likely to miss next season after he tore his right Achilles last night in Game 7 against the Thunder. MLB action has 9 games on the slate. Yankees and Reds have a date. Mets play the Braves while the Nationals and Padres go head-to-head. This sports update is brought to you by Advantage Sports Medicine. Connor McDavid's got a team of specialists, and you're stuck with a bag of frozen peas. Get the same locker room approach that's trusted by the best in the game. Call them at 780-460-9977 or visit their website at advantagesportmed.ca to book an appointment. Today, more discussion with Matt Iwanyk and Jay Milne brings us back on the other side of the break. I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up to date.
The Nielsen Show with Lieutenant Eric.
Darren Dreger is brought to you by Pro-Am Sports.
The problem that Edmonton has is the same problem that every cap team, contending team in the National Hockey League has. Everybody wants the same pieces. Maybe Bowman just waits to see how the dust settles in free agency. Maybe there's a bargain available, or somebody makes him a trade offer that makes some sense. I think he's open to all of the above.
The Nielsen Show with Lieutenant Eric, presented by Southport Chevrolet. Weekday mornings 6 to 9, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Got some gently used furniture or home goods that need a new home? Find Edmonton is here to help. Every month we furnish over 100 homes to those transitioning out of homelessness, and we need your gently used furniture and home goods. Drop off at 5120 122nd Street or call for free local pickup. Just visit findedmonton.com to learn how your donations can help create a home for someone in need. Plus shop our thrift store, in-store or online, with proceeds benefit those moving out of homelessness through housing supports. Visit us at findedmonton.com. Find Edmonton, supporting our community one home at a time.
River Creek Resort and Casino and K97 proudly present Steve Earle and Reckless Kelly. Featuring small band and acoustic performances, Steve Earle and Reckless Kelly in the venue, July 25th. Tickets at rivercreekresort.com.
River Creek Resort and Casino. Excitement. Bet on it.
Since 1952, William Huff has been the heartbeat of Edmonton's advertising world. From humble beginnings to a citywide powerhouse, we've been the go-to for signage from print to design and installation. Partnering with Edmonton's top sports franchises and major events, we've helped shape the city's global reputation. Our secret? Unmatched customer service, decades of experience, and a passion for excellence we call the William Huff Advantage. Visit us online at williamhuff.com.
Hosting the Big Canada Day Bash? Make room for the celebration with Sentinel Storage. From decluttering the garage, storing your seasonal gear, and keeping your treasures safe, we've got the space so you can enjoy the day and every day. Try 4 weeks free at sentinelstorage.ca.
Return here on the Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne, Matt Iwanyk with you alongside Jay. I'm in for Reid. He'll be back on Wednesday. Reminder, Edmonton Sports Talk presented by Play Alberta. Download the app today. Go to playalberta.ca. Click on EST Specials. Jay's Play of the Day. Elks plus 9.5 against the Bombers on Thursday. That is plus 100. EST Sports. Use that promo code when you deposit 20 or more for your $50 free sports bet. Or YEG50 when you deposit 5 or more and get a $50 free bet. Put $50 on Jay's Play of the Day. Boom.
That would be $50 right back. Plus 100.
That's what you'd get.
Even money.
Once the Elks do it on Thursday. Let's get to buying or selling, which is for Damon Bunting, who's been a consistent top producing realtor in the greater Edmonton area for over 17 years. He and his team would love to help you find the right home or make the move from your current home. Community driven. He understands what it takes to make a difference in our city. Check him out, DamonBunting.com, or check him on Instagram, Damon Bunting Real Estate. Jay,
Matt,
do you want me to start or are you going to start?
Oh, you go first.
SGA.
Sahi
Gilgeous-Alexander is his full name. NBA Finals MVP. NBA MVP this year.
Heard of him.
Champ of the world in the NBA.
Yes.
Is he already the greatest hoops player in Canadian basketball history? Buying or selling?
Oh.
He is. I'll say it. So he is the best Canadian basketball player ever born. Buying or selling? What Damon would say to this one.
I don't know. Maybe not yet.
You're not willing to I'm guessing Steve Nash?
Yeah.
You've still got Steve.
Steve Nash, you know what though, Matt, when you look at the body of work from SGA, I mean, this year, he's the fourth in NBA history to win league MVP scoring title and win the finals. And not at all that Steve Nash was not a likable guy. Like, Steve Nash is a very likable guy. But SGA is just so nice. He's so Canadian. Matt, I'm going to buy that.
He's better than Steve Nash.
At first blush, I would say I would have sold on that. But I don't know. And I think, ring culture. How many rings did Steve Nash win?
0, but he got screwed in 1 year.
Right, and he was MVP, what, twice?
Twice. He should have been a 3-time MVP. Got screwed.
So SGA's got the ring.
Yeah. And led the team to it.
And was the superstar.
Jamal Murray has a ring. Andrew Wiggins has a ring. Jamal Murray, though, was the number 2. Andrew Wiggins was number 4 or whatever on that team.
Yeah.
Sahi Gilgeous-Alexander was the number 1.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to buy. Initially, I thought I would sell, but I don't know how you could now. Especially now with the ring.
Like, it's in the, like, if he was to say, I'm done. I did it. I'm retiring. So are we saying he's better than Steve Nash?
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think you have to. Maddie, buying or selling, I'll give you a little background here. I think the Stanley Cup is by far the best trophy of the Big Four because it's a 1 of 1. Okay?
1 of 3.
Well, but you know what I mean. Yeah. Like the team gets the same trophy every year. Does it lessen the significance of being awarded a trophy that is remade and given out every year? Are you buying or selling that it lessens the significance?
I'll sell this. I agree that the Stanley Cup is the better trophy. In even aesthetics, the look of it is better.
The baseball trophy is pretty cool.
Really? I think that's the worst of them all.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh no, the
it's just
Lombardi,
flags around a
Lombardi
thing.
trophies.
I love the Lombardi. I think it looks perfect silver too.
Awful.
I like the idea that, like, OKC, they have now a Larry O'Brien trophy that they could display somewhere.
Yeah.
And it's the trophy they won. It's not like they have to go, like the Oilers have the 5 Stanley Cups in their locker room, mini ones that they've replicated. This isn't the replica. This is a legit trophy that you could, in theory, display somewhere. The Oilers have an Oilers Hall of Fame room. Imagine if they had a Stanley Cup that they could, like, display there. Everyone go, look, oh, that's the cup they won or whatever it is. So I think having that, it doesn't lessen it. I still like the Stanley Cup and the one trophy that gets passed around type thing. That's what we're going to have when your golf tournament and stuff. But I don't think it lessens it that you get a new one every year.
How would you rank the trophies in terms of the Commissioner's Trophy, the Larry O'Brien Trophy, the Vince Lombardi Trophy, and the Stanley Cup? I know how I would do it.
Well, I'm adding a 5th one into this one just because I have to.
Soccer?
No. I'm going to go...
You're talking to Coupe Grey?
Yeah. I get Stanley Cup, Grey Cup, the 1A, 1B.
Okay, Stanley
And
Cup over
then-
Grey Cup, which
I have to pull them up right over here. Then I would go...
I like the Grey Cup because it's got handles.
Well, you could drink out of both. That's what makes both great, too.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think. World Series, the Commissioner's Trophy. Is
See,
the
I
worst.
got
Even
Vince,
the name is
Lombardi.
the worst.
So it's a Commissioner's Trophy. That's terrible.
Larry
But it's pretty nice
O'Brien,
looking.
Or this,
all those pennant flags. Larry O'Brien. So for me, it'd go Stanley Cup, Commissioner's Trophy, Larry O'Brien, Lombardi
Super
Trophy.
Bowl.
Yeah.
But World Series at the bottom for me.
Really?
Yeah, easily. That's an ugly... there's nothing to it. You could, like, probably bend those little flags off and crack them right off.
Whatever. They'll make another one.
Somehow it survived driving around outside Yankee Stadium.
Buying or selling?
You didn't catch that.
The Oilers should seriously consider keeping Evander Kane. Selling.
Yeah, they didn't produce in the playoffs when they needed him. What he did is he took penalties. He was a guy that ended up being a detriment to the team ultimately in the Stanley Cup final. If Trent Frederick could become a little bit of Evander Kane, like there's other players that can go do and be a little bit of
big if.
It is, but you can still go find, like, how many players are on the Florida Panthers? Like, the players are out there. You just have to be willing to go find them and bring them in. I don't know. I think now is a good time to move on from Evander Kane, especially with his price dollar. I have no problem with it. Like, I'm not going to lie. I know people love it, and there are things that just bother me when it comes to Evander Kane where I just don't see a full teammate there and a little bit too much about me. And I think you could then go replace him for someone else. Now, people could argue flip side is that, yeah, he got that extra surgery for the team and when LTIR, absolutely. But I think at some point, you can't bring everyone back always. So I think this is a good time to move on from Evander Kane, especially if you can get something for him.
But play devil's advocate here.
Please.
He's going to have an offseason to recover, get fully healthy.
Mm-hmm.
He's entering a contract year. And at $5.25 million, what are you going to replace him with of somebody that can play with that physicality and still be an offensive threat?
Well, right off the bat, that's Trent Frederick that people are hoping for.
Yeah. That's a big difference.
Sure.
You know what Evander Kane can do.
You do,
when healthy.
But he also he could, as we saw in the Stanley Cup final, he could be a detriment. He can go and cause all these penalties and take on disciplined penalties, and it puts you on the box, and you have to kill off these penalties to start a hockey game or put you in those bad spots. Like there's those things as well. There's the Evander Kane's the guy that last year in the playoffs, or was it? No, I think it was regular season. In an interview, and people like, yeah, just joking. No, he's not. He's saying this. He knows what he's saying, but he's talking about being on the third line, like that. He believes he should be top 6. Like if you don't keep Evander Kane happy, he could derail your locker room. He could derail your team. I'd be ready to move on from that. What are you going with that one, though?
TBD, bro.
Yeah, Frederick's never scored 20 or more. I know that's Smitty, but like 17, 18, you could also have him at his age, possibly still go out and do that. It could still happen.
I just like my Stu Skinner take. I don't know if what you're going to get in return, let's say you trade Evander Kane, unless you're adding a couple players at depth.
You know what you're getting in return depending on the deal? Money. Cap space.
But they do need players, man.
They absolutely do, but you also need cap space to get things done.
You are correct.
Buying or selling. The NBA hat, championship day hat, was good looking.
The hat.
Would you wear the NBA hat? Do you have it, Zach? There you go. There what they had. It's got that rope on it. For those not listening on the audio stream, it's that rope hat. It's black. It says champions. What does that say below champions?
2024-25.
So it has the season, and it has their logo on it. A lot of people are ripping this hat. I'm buying this hat. I actually like this hat. I'm a fan of this hat. Jay, you buying or selling the NBA championship hat?
Definitely selling.
Really?
Too much going on. Too busy.
Too much going on. I think a lot of people would say that's too little going on.
Nope.
There's one specific detail that I want to point out, though. In the P in champions, it's used as a slash to divide the 2024 and 2025 text.
That's
pretty
cute.
cool.
But here's the thing. I run hot. Matthew, you know this.
Yeah, okay.
I run hot. If I have a cap on that's not vented in the back, like a mesh style back, or at least those fancy new ones with the little fancy holes
like
in
our
them.
EST flat brims.
They make me hot. The Golf Classic one, on the other hand, that's my go-to working around the yard hat. I can sweat in that thing.
I'll say this about the
I
hat.
just feel like my head's going to get suffocated in that hat. So for that reason, I am selling.
I love that it wasn't a flat brim. We see everything's always a flat brim nowadays, and we have a lot of flat brims.
It would have
with the
come
SD.
as a flat brim. That's SGA's.
But I think he curved
curvature.
that. It was very well curved then, at least.
Oh, it was a great curve.
It's hard to curve a flat brim.
I'm not arguing the curve.
Are you sure that's? I don't. think that is.
Yeah.
Not with the rope.
SGA would be a magician when it comes to. I've said magician twice now. He'd be very good at curving a hat on demand.
I'm sorry. When you see a rope style hat, those aren't flat brims.
They're
I'm
not
saying
curved.
that right now.
They're not like trucker hat curves, though. You still got to break that brim in. You got to break the brim.
Let me see if I can quickly find it here. No, that's curved. That's curved. That's not flat in any way, shape, or form. He may have curved it a little bit more.
He put his touch on it.
But that's still curved to start. And it's nice to see curved hat for a championship. It's been a long time since I've seen one of those.
I do agree with this. Mex Bezozu says that hat looks like it was made at a West Edmonton Mall kiosk. Because here's why. Coop, throw it up again, quick. I know we got to get to break.
We got to break because
Paul.
Paul's going to be coming up right away.
You see how packed in the Champions is with the logo and the numbering? Like, it doesn't look spatially correct. That's why I said it's too busy. Blah, 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 blah. Nope. Not for me anyways. I am selling, Matthew.
I am a fan. That was buying or selling for Damon Bunting. He's Jay Milne. I am Matthew Iwanyk. We'll connect with Paul Sir after the break from 3x3 Basketball Association. We'll talk NBA Finals. We will talk Kevin Durant to Houston Rockets. But first, a Zach Cooper Sports update here on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton Sports.
For the Elks, they've signed former Miami Hurricane Elijah Alston to the practice squad, with the 24-year-old defensive lineman spending the last 5 seasons playing NCAA football. Plus, Edmonton's injury report had David Beard absent from practice this morning with a calf injury, while Mark Cordy was absent for non-football related reasons. In hockey, the Oil Kings have acquired Colorado prospect Max Curran from the Tri-City Americans for this year's first-round pick at the CHL Import Draft, next year's first-round selection at the WHL Import Draft, and some future picks as well. On the pitch, Canada's Ali Ahmed is out for the rest of the Gold Cup after he sustained an ankle injury Saturday against Curacao and will undergo further evaluation with his MLS club in Vancouver. Meanwhile, there's 9 games in baseball, starting with the Rangers and Orioles before the Braves play the Mets and the Reds challenge the Yankees. Elsewhere, Tyrese Halliburton is likely to miss next season for the Pacers after he tore his right Achilles last night in Game 7 against the Thunder. This sports update is brought to you by Windsor Plywood Leduc, locally owned and operated, serving Leduc and surrounding areas since '93. They have doors, flooring, baseboards, and of course, they got plywood. Go see the knowledgeable staff today at Windsor Plywood Leduc. More NBA talk brings us back on the other side of the break. I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up to date.
The EST Hangout.
What if they had traded for Markstrom? What if they got Jacob Markstrom?
Do you think they would have won a cup by now?
Bona fide goalie. You wanted another year, and you didn't want to give him another year. Really? And then you go and get Jack Campbell? That's a colossal mistake. That's costing him a Stanley Cup. Like, that's just bad management. Like, and I love Kenny Holland, but that's just bad management.
The EST Hangout, presented by Sentinel Storage. Weekday mornings 9 to 11, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Summer in Edmonton means three things: warm weather, long nights, and plenty of sports. From the lake to the links, you can boost your summer fun with hundreds of casino games, live betting on your favorite sports teams, and access to popular lotteries. All in one app, anywhere in the province. Download the Play Alberta app today and deposit $20 or more with promo code YAG50 to claim a $50 free bet. That's promo code YAG50 for a $50 free bet on us. Redeemable once per Play Alberta account. Remember, if you gamble, please use your game sense.
Here we go. Football is back at Play Alberta Field at Commonwealth. Cheer on your green and gold as we kick off the excitement with the ultimate celebration of the game we love. Thursday, June 19th, Edmonton versus Montreal. A huge home opener with the Super Dogs halftime show. Plus the debut of our new in-house band, brand new food items, and to celebrate every Double E touchdown, the return of an old favorite. Get your home opener tickets now at goelks.com. Game day sponsored by Edmonton International Airport. Go Elks!
You've always known GCL Diesel as the experts in diesel fuel systems, but did you know that GCL is also your source for turbochargers and turbo repair? As a turbo supplier for Garrett, Borg Warner, and Holset, GCL can provide genuine original equipment turbos at wholesale prices. Whether it's diesel, gas, natural gas, or performance, we can provide you with the turbo or custom repair you require. Turbo questions? We've got turbo answers. Visit us in the West End or online at gcldiesel.com. GCL Diesel, turbochargers, understood.
Here's to the beautiful lakes and stunning landscapes Canada has to offer. And for the kayak, camping gear, and summer toys you use to enjoy them? Need extra space? Sentinel Storage. Try 4 weeks free. Visit sentinelstorage.ca. Happy Canada Day.
This is the Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne. Matt Iwanyk in for Reid on this Monday alongside Zachary Kubish. We're live in the the Banquet Studio. Strike up some fun at the Banquet Bar. Bowling, drinks, and great time with friends. Get real, play hard at the Banquet. We will talk some NBA right now as Paul Sir from 3x3 Basketball Association. He's joining us yet again. Once again, we always love chatting to this individual. And Paul, welcome to the show. It's good to see your face and talk with you again. Let's get into the game from yesterday, or the series coming to an end with OKC hoisting the Larry O'Brien Trophy. For you, OKC Thunder, worthy champions?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. What a great year. People have used the term historic ad nauseum, I think now. It's we've heard it, but, they earned it. 68 wins during the regular season. SGA becoming the MVP, one of a very, very few, very, very special group of people that were MVP in the league, led the league in scoring. Team had the most wins. And he had a marvelous playoff where he averaged over 30 points a game. So are they a worthy champion? Absolutely. There was a shadow, of course, cast last night with Tyrese Halliburton's rupturing his Achilles. That's a terrible injury. To have the kind of playoff he had, that the Pacers had, and have it end that way in Game 7, boy, I'll tell you, sometimes the sports gods are cruel.
Paul Sir joining us here from 3x3 Basketball. Okay, OKC was dominant in the regular season. They were dominant when it mattered in the playoffs, but they were always led by SGA. But there were three other Canadians that played meaningful roles in that finals. Do you see this having another Vince Carter effect for youth basketball in Canada?
I hope so. I think we've had these moments, Vince Carter, Steve Nash, that have really propelled the interest in basketball in Canada forward. So I would really hope that having not one, but 4 Canadians playing meaningful roles, as you said, in the NBA Finals, that makes it really special and also makes it even more believable for young Canadians. I mean, I can't imagine right now what the basketball community in the city of Toronto and cities of Toronto and Montreal are feeling right now, having their native sons perform at the highest level in the world, literally, and leading the NBA. So we've gone from having probably 23 or 24 Canadians in the league, say 5 years ago, but most of them were role players, to now having the MVP again, SGA, following in the footsteps of Steve Nash, but having Lou Dort, first team all defense, Ryan Nembhard, fantastic playoffs, and then Ben Mathurin, 24 in Game 7, getting better and better all the time. So to your point, yeah, this should be another point of inspiration to drive excellence even further along and along faster for the Canadian basketball playing public.
I wonder if, with OKC, they seem to be set up for quite a while here and have an opportunity at sustaining this team, keeping this team together, not to mention they're still loaded with draft picks. And I mean, they had their first overall draft pick didn't even play this year. So do you think, is there potential for a dynasty being set up in Oklahoma City?
There's certainly potential for the discussion of a dynasty. Time will tell. As Tyrese Halliburton's injury can attest, anything can happen. A lot can happen that can change the course of a franchise's fate. But I think you made a great point. They set themselves up, I think, probably better than any other franchise that I'm certainly familiar with ever in the NBA, to have the kind of depth of talent that's so young right now in the present, but all of this draft capital that they can either make key trades for or go to the draft and bring players in that could help make them even stronger down the road. I'm going to be very curious to see how they handle this, because do they need more young talent, or would they be looking for proven veterans that could step in and make them even better right away? That's going to be interesting. But I think dynasty, maybe, because second youngest team ever in NBA history, they win the championship, and they're set up at least for the next 2 to 3 years with good contracts for their best players. So it's a model franchise. They've done everything right, and they should be in a position to reap the benefits for a long, long time.
Okay, we just discussed this last segment. Your thoughts. Is SJ already the best Canadian basketball player of all time?
Ooh, wow. I have to say, okay, this is a 51-49 opinion, because you can certainly make a case that he is, but Steve Nash was the 2-time MVP. Now, Nash never won a championship. There's lots of reasons why you can say just because you didn't win a championship doesn't mean that really shouldn't tarnish your overall history as a player. But man, I'm going to just go 51-49 because of the 2-time MVP. And but I would say that if that page hasn't flipped already, it's going to flip very, very soon.
Play a little bit longer, SGN, and I think everyone then will be on board. Quickly, just your thoughts on Kevin Durant to Houston. Do you think that's a good move for the Rockets to add KD?
I think it's a great move for the Rockets. I don't know if it's. I don't know what could be a good move for Phoenix. I mean, that franchise is absolutely in the toilet, for lack of a more articulate way to express. Like, they're just a train wreck. But for the Rockets, this makes them very interesting, because if they had one major weakness, that would be that they had to manufacture offense pretty much every time down the court, with rare exception. But Durant gives you that player that can create offense, can score points in bunches that you can go to late in the shot clock, and he can make a play and make something happen. You're dealing, of course, with one of the all-time greats. So I think this makes Houston stronger and makes it interesting in that very tough Western Conference to see if now the Rockets can be a threat to the OKC, perhaps a blooming dynasty that we were talking about before. Here's the big asterisk, though. KD is 36. He's had a lot of injuries. Can he stay healthy for the whole year? If so, of course, Houston becomes more intriguing. If not, we'll see what that means.
Hoop City 3x3 Festival, as well as Hoop City 3x3 Quest, a little over a month away. Everything is going good. Preparing for the big weekend at West Ed.
It's going to be great. I'll tell you what's exciting about this. The overall event is really exciting. It's going to look fantastic. The way we've got the Ice Palace design set up, it's going to be a real fun venue for people to watch the best men's and women's players in the world, in the women's series, in the men's world tour. But our quest, like Quest, for people who don't know, this is a qualifying event to get players, both men and women, into FIBA events around the world. Like our men's winner will go to a challenger event in China in October. But what's been great about it is we're up to 11 teams. I set a goal for 8. We're at 11. We have 1 from Europe, 4 from the States, and the rest from Canada. So we're going to have not just aspiring players, but really good players in this. So we're going to have 4 days of unbelievable high-level 3x3 going on in West Edmonton Mall the 31st of July to August 3rd. Best women's teams. We've got some special entertainment coming up, a special retirement party that we're going to be throwing. And so it's going to be a marvelous weekend.
3x3ba.ca for more information. Paul, it's always great chatting with you, and look forward to the event in the end of July.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Paul Sir, right there of 3x3 Basketball Association here in Edmonton. That's going to be a fun event. You were at it last year.
Yeah, I invited you. You didn't come.
You did not invite me.
I did invite you.
But you were just asking where coffee was, and we had that. So I'm not bringing that one back up again.
Isn't Paul Sir one of those voices you could just sit and listen to?
I'd finish so many ebooks or audiobooks if Paul read them all.
Yeah. Hey, Matt, one question I didn't get to bring up, but I want to know what your thoughts are. What is this? What do you think is going on with the Achilles rupture?
Oh yeah, we didn't get to that one. Sorry.
That's okay, but I think it needs to be brought up. I mean, this year there was 8 players who tore their Achilles this NBA season. The previous high was in 2014 and 15 with 5. Now, there was actually 2 more in the NBA that just didn't happen in season.
Yeah. There's an article written on Yahoo Sports. I think it was Pat Forday who wrote the article on this during the season.
What's going on with this? I mean, is this something as simple as saying there's too many games? I mean, the games have been there that way. Is this the new style of play in the NBA?
I remember once hearing with NBA, like there's an infinite number of ways to move when you plant your foot. Like you could always just move, and there's so many.
Is it a bad year? Is it footwear?
This is a question for Jeff Crushell.
Is it the evolution of footwear?
This is a question for Jeff Crushell.
Right. It just seems.
Is this a wear
odd.
thing? Is this? Yeah, I don't know. It's alarming. Not just the injuries, but also like the names that have gone down.
Sure.
It's very alarming. I know that popped up a lot yesterday. I wish I could give you some sort of answer on this one, but it wouldn't even be an educated guess. It'd be pulling something out of my you know.
And Maddie, I honestly don't think there is an answer that you could say, oh, it's because of this.
I know, but like somebody like a Jeff Crushell would have like, well, and you know, he's got data of things, and he'd be like, well, it's, you know, sometimes is this overtraining? Is this practicing too much? Is this, you know, not time off? You know, those, like there was an Olympics last year. How many of those guys played in the Olympics last year? So was there enough time off? You know, Halliburton was one that he knew the risk. Maybe he just came back too soon. That might be worth finding someone who has a better idea than me just trying to guess. Well, Jeff's one. There'd be others that I think that you can absolutely talk to. River Cree inbox is, you can get in touch with us. Do you have a thought? Are you more educated on this? 780-218-9999, presented by the River Cree Resort and Casino, home of the kitchen restaurant, all you can eat prime rib buffet for $49.99 every Sunday from 4 until 10 o'clock. Quick little bit of news from the Edmonton Elks, by the way. David Beard has been transferred to the 6-game injured list with the groin injury. Was that what it was listed as? Calf injury. Thank you.
I wonder, Matt, because the 6 game is the maximum you can put on.
Yes, but you could come off of it. I think there's a little bit of implications with it, but you could come off early. So if they think he's going to be gone for 4, you might throw him on the 6 to pull him off later.
Like, I wonder if something happened with his Achilles, because this was as he was running back onto the field to play. It wasn't in play.
But I think he went back on the field later in the game.
Did he?
I thought I read that somewhere.
Doesn't mean he ruptured it per se.
No.
But I don't know.
Jackson Morkin from Windsor. He's been added from the practice roster to the active roster. So that's the latest news from your Edmonton Elks. We will speak with wide receiver of the Edmonton Elks, Stephen Dunbar. That coming up at 5:20. I don't know where we are with thumbs for word of the day. So I don't know if we're in word of the day territory. But up next, it is Fired Up. This is the Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne. I am Matthew Iwanyk. He is Jay alongside Zachary Kubish. We'll be back with the 3rd hour of the show right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton Sports.
2 guys and a goalie.
There's the diehards, and I classify myself in that kind of column because I'd have friends call me. I'd have my family come, they'd know not to knock on my door because I'd be rattled, and I'd go for walks. I'm not much of a walker. I'd kick rocks on my walks. I'm not even joking. Like, it would seriously
2 guys
bother
and a
me.
goalie, presented by GS Construction. Tuesday and Thursday afternoons at noon, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Friday's just got a whole lot more fun. Spin the wheel at the banquet for your shot to win big and save on your bill. Spin, win, save. It's that easy. Details at thebanquetbar.com. The Banquet. Get real. Play hard.
You know Dawn. Everyone knows Dawn. Dawn from
Frontier Cartage. That's right, it's me, Dawn from Frontier Cartage, where we're setting the standard for cartage service in Edmonton and beyond, offering city cartage, Alberta highway, short haul deck, and more. My team and I are bringing our years of industry experience and expertise to every mile.
Join Dawn and her boys in a new chapter in transportation excellence, dedicated to exceptional service. Call Dawn at Frontier Cartage, 587-222-5826.
At Mind360, we invite you to embark on your mental health journey in a safe and comfortable space. Conveniently located in St. Albert, Mind360 has a diverse team of experienced clinicians that offer a broad range of tailored services for children, adults, and families. Furthermore, we are very proud to serve our military, veterans, and first responders. If you're looking for counseling, treatment, or assessment, understand that you are not alone. Contact Mind360 at mind360.ca to book an appointment today.
Looking for quality building materials and friendly advice? Visit us at Windsor Plywood Leduc, family owned and locally run since 1993. From interior materials for doors, flooring, baseboards, and all the finishing touches to all you need for your outdoor projects like cedar lumber for decks and fences, plus all the plywood you'd need. Our full-time on-staff carpenter can help with anything odd-sized or custom, and from domestic hardwoods to exotic selections, we've got you covered. And if we don't have it, we'll track it down for you. Windsor Plywood Leduc. We're the experts you need to know.
After missing practice the last 2 days for the Elks, David Beard has been moved to the 6-game injured list with a calf injury, while Mark Cordy was absent this morning at Elks practice for non-football related reasons. Staying with the Elks, they've signed defensive lineman Elijah Alston from the Miami Hurricanes. Alston spending the last 5 years playing NCAA football. In the WHL, the Oil Kings have traded this year's first-rounder at the CHL Import Draft, next year's first-round selection at the WHL Import Draft, as well as some future picks in exchange for Max Curran from the Americans. Curran is a prospect for the Avalanche, being picked in the 5th round in last year's NHL Draft. Elsewhere, Game 6 of the Calder Cup Finals goes down between the Canucks and Checkers. Abbotsford up 3-2 in the series. That one gets going in moments. And NBA News has Indiana's Tyrese Halliburton likely to miss next season. He tore his Achilles last night in Game 7 against the Thunder. On the schedule for baseball, there's 9 games. 1 game is underway. The Rangers and Orioles runless in the second inning, while the Braves and Mets are just about to get underway. I'm Zachary Kubish. That was your sports update. The third hour of the Reid Wilkins Show starts right now.
Must you click? Click. Must you click?
5:03, the Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Clear choice for Edmonton Sports. Matt Iwanyk in for Reid today. ESD proudly presented by Play Alberta, your home for online gaming excitement, featuring casino games, live dealer action, lottery, instants, and sports betting. Now with the new Play Alberta app, you can take the fun with you anywhere. Download the app or sign up today. PlayAlberta.ca. EST Sports is your promo code when you deposit 20 or more for a $50 free bet. YEG50 when you deposit 5 or more, $50 free bet, or EST Sports. You deposit 20 or more and you get a $50 casino bonus as well. Stephen Dunbar Jr. of the Edmonton Elks will join us at 5:22. But right now, it's time to get to Fired Up for Gemco Fireplaces, who've been proudly serving Edmonton area for 45 years, and the authorized dealer for Napoleon Fireplaces, whether it's gas or wood burning. Look no further than Canadian-made Napoleon Fireplaces. All the Napoleon products you need are available at Gemco, 9281 50th Street. So 92nd Ave and 50th Street. I'll let you start with Fired Up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Here I was waiting for this amazing Fired Up that
mine
that
might go
you
a little
have.
longer.
Okay. Well, everybody that's been listening and have been tuning into the Reid Wilkins Show have known that I was coaching the U12 Packers out in the Sherwood Park Flag Football League. We finished the season on Sunday with a massive victory over the Steelers.
Screw you, Steelers.
Screw you, Steelers.
NFL was, not kids.
Not kids. Well, it did get a little interesting.
We got a little feisty?
Well, not the kids.
Coaching staff.
The opposing coaching staff were not fans of me, I would say. Well, here's okay. I'll dive into it. I wasn't.
You got a problem with Jay. You got a problem with me, Steelers. I just want you to know that.
So it was a tight game to begin, and then we took off. We ended up beating them, I think, 42-30.
Okay.
But we took control of the game, and they were not too happy about that. And when I'm coaching. And, because they're just kids. They're 10 and 11 years old. Like, if you say, hey, Johnny, go and cover the center. Sometimes Johnny doesn't compute for Johnny. So, Johnny, and I'll come out onto the field maybe 5 yards. Not during the play, but just trying to get them lined up.
Almost like a jamboree.
Well, they did not like
a hybrid of the jamboree. I always found jamborees weird.
They wanted to have a penalty called on me for that. And then they said, well, your players... ref, one of their players is wearing sunglasses. So?
What penalty is that?
It's not. But that's
what
just...
were they asking
That's
for?
just where... They wanted a penalty.
For what? Like, what's the penalty?
For wearing sunglasses. That's just the stage of the game it was at. You know what I mean?
I'm really annoyed by these people.
The flow of the game was... So anyways...
How dare you try to help coach these young kids to understand the game better, Jay?
Well, my wife who's my assistant coach, was on the sideline, and she was just dying laughing because, like, in her, politely, because she knew I was clearly under their skin. And if it's maybe it's not the best thing, but I leaned into it.
As you should. They deserve it.
Because our kids were, the Steelers beat us earlier in the season. So this was retribution as well. And we finished with a win. Okay. That was one. I got to give props to my middle daughter, Rose, my little Rosebud. She threw for 3 touchdowns in the victory. And so when you score a touchdown in flag, you can go for 1 or 2. 1 is only at the 5-yard line. 2 is at the 10-yard line. So they went for 2 and they threw a pass up the middle and Rose intercepted it. Had to make like a jumping catch. and
took it to the house.
Up the sideline. Not one of those little boys could catch her.
So it's 2 points on the board for you.
2 points. And you should have seen her face when she was running. It was like she had a fire lit under her little butt. She was just going, and April and I are jumping on the sidelines, and I ran down and
Good job, Rose.
met her in the end zone. It was just so awesome to see, and it was such a great finish to the season. I couldn't be happier for the kids. And then tonight, right after the show, I'm going to my youngest's gymnastics session, and I'm happy to report that this is the end of sports until the fall.
So you're fired up about this?
I am fired up. Yeah.
Oh.
Like, you know, I they like doing stuff, and I obviously, my wife and I love our kids being in sports, but it consumes your weeknights. It consumes everything. So we don't have any more basketball. We don't have any more flag. And after tonight, we don't have any more gymnastics. So I am fired up about that.
I'm happy for you.
Thank you. Thank you,
Pool
Matthew.
time coming.
Oh, yeah. Just had it filled this morning. Showed you the video of it getting filled, and I hooked everything up with the heater and the sand filter and the pump, and no leaks.
Oh, that's great.
It's a minor miracle.
Fantastic.
Yeah. That's my fired up.
Now I have to take over?
Well, I don't know. What's going on? I don't know. Am I getting fired live on air? Is
No.
that are you taking this to the literal?
I'm not gonna vocally get fired up here. I'm calm with this.
Okay.
I'm fired up with Amazon customer service a little bit right now.
Oh boy.
Customer service.
Oh boy.
I'm also fired up with Antonio Enriquez, I believe his name is.
Who's this guy?
Well, let me tell you, Jay. So this Saturday, I'm watching the Great British Baking Show.
Of course.
Love it show. It's very wholesome.
Okay.
I'm showing Kayla what it's like.
Okay.
9 something, I get a notification on my phone. Your Amazon order has been shipped. I'm like, what Amazon order? I didn't order Amazon order.
Oh, no.
I go on. Somebody hacked my Amazon account.
Compromised?
They ordered 2 things for $2,000 each.
What?
A boat motor and something else.
Okay, we got to guess what these are. $2,000 each?
Well, and one was $142.32. There was 2 other things that were over $2,000.
Oh my gosh, Maddie.
One was a boat motor and one was some GPS system.
For $2,000?
Each.
Each?
Yes. So I'm a hold on here. So I go on.
Oh, no.
I was able to cancel the $2,000 orders, the $2,000. I still had time to cancel. So I immediately was like, screw this, cancel order. The other one had already shipped. So you can't cancel it.
What was it?
It's some quick release bracket. The Minkata MKA 21 composite quick release bracket.
So this is a fisherman that stole your stuff.
Something. It's Antonio Enriquez, who lives in Mississauga, Ontario. 977. Actually, I don't know if I
can't give his phone number out.
It's not a phone number. I have the address, but I looked it up and it was like a daycare or something. So I won't go with that.
A daycare?
It was like some daycare or something.
What kind of racket they running out there?
So I immediately, it's late at night now. It's like 9:30. I immediately tried calling Bank of Montreal. That's who my credit card's with, because I don't know what's hacked right now. So I'm like, I need to get this. They're closed at that time. So I'm okay, I got to deal with this tomorrow with them. I get on a chat with Amazon, finally get to someone. And I'm like, and I changed the delivery date for as late as possible. I'm like, this guy's not getting this on my watch.
No.
So I contact Amazon support firstly. And I'm dealing with this person, and they were great. And then, but it was a business account, so I got shipped over. Oh, that part of this too is the EST credit card is also on there. So I had a message Dusty. I'm like, hey Dusty, can you check the card, make sure there's no weird activity going on? Because I will get to that a little bit.
Oh my word!
But so I get a hold of this person, and this person's like, yeah, well, since it's shipped, we can't cancel the order, and you're going to have to get in touch with the carrier to refuse delivery. I'm like, well, can you not do this? Why am I doing this? Why? Can you not do something as Amazon to be like, oh, yeah, this wasn't ordered. You're not we got to get this back. No, so they give me a number. So it's now 10 o'clock at night past. I'm like, I'm not calling this number tonight. So the next day I call this number. I get told that they're going to, I want to refuse delivery so this gets back to you guys and I make sure my credit card gets refunded for this money. They send that there's going to be a case, an investigation into my account to see this. I'm like, hey, cool. Do the investigation. They say it might take a few days. I'm like, that's fine. I get an email an hour later saying, yeah, no unusual activity was found.
What?
And I'm going, what? No, there was unused. I'm telling you, I did not order this. There's somebody else in Mississauga who's ordered this. So in the meantime, I've called my bank. I've canceled my credit card. Like it's locked. So I'm getting that money back because there's an investigation into that. But somehow through my credit card, they transferred $2,000 from my line of credit to my credit card. They got access to my line of credit.
Whoa, this is serious.
So now I got another investigation launched into my line of credit because I'm like, how did this even happen? Like, what's compromised? What's not compromised? So now I then go on to Amazon today because I want to just get, like, I canceled those orders so quickly. I made a mistake. I should have just downloaded the order and then canceled them. But because I actually want to send an email to the Mississauga police. I'm like, hey, just so you know, like this person ordered something. I didn't do any of this. Here's all the info. And you want to do something, deal with it. If not, whatever. But I can't get the info for this order. So I got an Amazon chat today and I was like, hey, can I get the order information for the 2 orders I canceled? Can I get it? It's like delivered to Antonio and this is how much it is. All that. And like, no, we can't.
What's this guy's name?
Antonio. Enrikes is his last name. But I'm like, hey, can you not, like, is it like there clearly was an order at one point. Do you not have access to that order to send me so I could just have a record of this? And like, no, once it gets canceled, we don't have anything. Like, how does Amazon have none of these records? How do you not have it in like some sort of folder somewhere? They do. You have all this stuff. Just give it to me.
They do.
I just want the order that says this is what was ordered at this time to this address from this person, and then item canceled on this day. That's all I'm asking for. And they won't give it to me. But yeah, that's what my weekend.
Antonio
was a little
Enriques.
Mississauga. He also tried to get into my Amazon today.
Really?
Because I got I added extra security and I have the OTP password and stuff. This morning at 3 a.m. at 7 a.m. I got a request for my password. So he was trying to get back on, probably because he's not getting his package delivered yet. Screw you, Antonio. And now here's the problem, though. I'm trying to get Amazon their package back. I got the Bank of Montreal on my side. They're going to cancel that charge. So Amazon, if you don't want to give up a package of $142 for free, you might want to cancel this, but they still don't want to cancel it.
Wow.
And I dealt with someone else today, and they've had to escalate it. I'm like, cancel this, but like it's Amazon delivery. Just tell someone, yeah, okay, this can't be delivered anymore because we're not getting paid for it.
Do you think this has anything to do with that big data breach that happened? Like, what was that? Late last week or over the weekend?
Was there a data breach?
Huge, millions. Wasn't it Google?
Yeah, it was a Google data breach. Over 16 million passwords for accounts were handed out. So I guess if you do the safe, secure, save your password at google.com or whatever on amazon.com, it might have been a breach. So
you got breached, brah.
There's a few weird. Like Saturday, I had a couple. Like somebody was trying to get into my Manulife. I haven't been with Manulife since I've been at Bell.
You've been breached.
Big time.
I don't even know if I'm talking to you right now.
Well,
how do I know you're you?
Well, I'm not Antonio.
How do I know you're not Antonio? And you're here to take me and Coob.
So and then I just wanted something records for one. I want Amazon. I'm fired up about Amazon to just like cancel this package. I'm also fired up that they won't give me the data of like the receipts.
Do the right thing, Amazon.
And then also Antonio.
Antonio, be a better person.
What's going on here?
You're a jackass.
Wish I was like
grow up,
Mississauga.
Get your own damn trolling motor.
It was a Minnesota Terrova Bell Mount electric trolling motor with GPS.
I knew it was a trolling motor. That's the only motor you're going to get for $2,000.
And that one, it's for fresh water.
Do you know what trolling is?
No.
Okay, so trolling sets you on it's a slight speed, so you can throw your rods out the back, and it just it's the right speed.
$2,290.
Jeez.
Or $2,290.04.
What a loser.
And then the GPS, which was a Garmin, naturally. It was on sale.
That's a fish finder.
$2,294.99.
Maybe that's a fish finder. This is a fish
and then
finder.
And then the quick release bracket was
that's for the trolling
$142.32. That one's still being shipped. I've delayed it till June 30th. So if the Amazon has till June 30th to keep this package.
Here, this guy he is thinking he would already be on the lake this weekend.
So
Maddie says no. Maddie says no, weekend. Antonio. I will not.
I've got Amazon now looking at something because it's been thrown up to the poll, and I've got BMO at launching 2 investigations.
Have you changed all your passwords?
I've changed various passwords. I've added extras. Like I've had some security, I guess. I've
2-step verification.
I found more security. Like BMO, it's like if I want to look at my card, it's going to ask me for a password.
Right. Wow.
I
That's
got anything and
incredible.
everything.
Did it ruin your Saturday night?
I got over it.
Did you?
Yeah, I found a way to get over it.
Well, you canceled the big purchases. I mean, if you get burnt
That
for
was the big thing.
$150, you get burnt for $150.
Yeah, and like, yeah, it was the ones that I'm like $2,000, and the fact that it's canceled, and I see it's still showing up on my account that it's canceled. So that made me happy. That calmed things down. And I've had my card compromised before. I've dealt with that. I'm not worried about that stuff. It was just the line of credit. That part was like,
that's weird. That person was in your bank account. Have you changed your bank account password?
No, it wasn't through my bank account. Because I asked the person, they manually entered my card and they found a way to do it. And my mom used to be in banking. And she told me, she's like, they probably this is dark web crap that we're dealing with.
Really?
Here. Because they found a way to probably look at my card history.
Well, they probably
went through my accounts and were able to do this. They weren't in my bank. They got my credit card info, manually entered it, and somehow we're into this dark web stuff.
They probably filtered Amazon users that only live on floors 20 and above, so they could get where the real money's at.
Then I have 3 different Amazon accounts type thing.
Oh yeah, and tell you what, Matt,
and it was only
this
on the
is
business
exactly why I have never bought anything on Amazon, and now I certainly will not. I've never used Amazon once in my life.
But this is the business one that's in there, and of course it has like EST card on. I'm like, crap, this is gonna is this gonna? I don't. Dusty and HR Daddy deal with that credit card.
Does this now say to you, okay, Amazon, that's enough. I'm going to go to the grocery store. I'm going to go.
No, but the problem is sometimes there are things you need that you have to buy on Amazon, like for our place. Like sometimes there are stores in Edmonton that don't even have that stuff.
Give me an example. I'd find it.
Well, for quick things and things like that.
See, now you changed
the
game.
Well, your Mother's Day gift that I almost ruined, that was Amazon. That needs to be Amazon.
Sure. It didn't have to be. Just my daughters thought it was cool.
So
they use the cups more than my wife.
You could also get, I've learned, trolling motors. You get that on Amazon. Can you get that anywhere else?
Yeah, at the fishing hole.
So yeah, that's I'm fired up for Gemco.
That was exceptional, and I'm sorry you went through that, but I'm glad to hear that you have at least some comfort coming out of it.
Yeah, I had some lovely chats with people at BMO yesterday.
What would you do if you saw Antonio Enrique right now? What would you do if he came in here? Would you allow him to speak and apologize, or would you just go for the knockout punch?
Well, I'm not strong enough to do that.
Yeah,
Look
here.
at me.
I'm here.
We could do that. The other thing, I would try
here.
to convert him into. Oh, he knows like Taekwondo and stuff like that.
Yeah, Coop's a dangerous man.
I would want to be like you go donate something to charity.
Oh, you take the high road.
You go do something with your life that's better.
My guy.
I want you $2,000. You want no. You go take $2,000 from your own bank account. I want to see that's your money.
Yeah,
and you go give that to a charity.
Yeah,
or the daycare that you're sending this stuff to.
Yeah. Wow,
Dick,
my guy. Good work. Sorry that happened.
Thank you. I'm usually not worried about it much because the banks will deal with it. They've got it. It was just weird how they connected to one of my other accounts through my credit card. I've never seen anything like that before. But when I talked to my mom about it, she's like, "Oh yeah," she knew what kind of happened. So I was like, "Oh okay." I'm calm because now it's not. They didn't. To me, it just feels like they didn't hack my banking stuff, which that stuff really worries me. And I have a different bank I'm in for my bigger stuff. He's Jay Milne. I'm Matthew Iwanyk. This is the Reid Wilkins Show. When we come back, we're going to talk with Edmonton Elks wide receiver Steven Dunbar as they prepare for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers on Thursday. The third game of the season for the Elks. It is week 4 in the Canadian Football League. That'll be following a Zach Kubish Sports Update.
After missing practice yesterday and today, David Beard of the Elks have been moved to the 6-game injured list due to a calf injury, while Mark Cordy was absent this morning from practice due to a non-football related reason. Staying with the Elks, they've signed defensive lineman Elijah Alston from the Miami Hurricanes. He spent the last 5 seasons playing NCAA football. And the Oil Kings have made a trade for Avalanche prospect Max Huron from the Americans in exchange for a first-round pick in this year's CHL import draft, a first-rounder in next year's WHL prospects draft, and a couple future mid-round picks. Huron was selected by Colorado in the 5th round in last year's NHL draft. Game 6 of the Calder Cup Finals is underway. The Checkers lead the Canucks 1-0 about 8 minutes into the contest. Charlotte Charlotte down 3-2 in the series. In soccer, Canada's Ali Ahmed is out for the rest of the Gold Cup after suffering an ankle injury during Saturday's match against Curaçao. Ahmed is off to get further evaluation with the Vancouver Whitecaps. And right now in baseball, the Orioles lead the Rangers 1-0 in the top of the fourth, while in the first, the Braves and Mets are scoreless, while the Reds trail the Yankees 1-0. This sports update is brought to you by Find Edmonton. Find takes your unused furniture and home goods to help those moving out of homelessness. Get donations picked up or drop them off free of charge. Visit findedmonton.com or call them at 780-988-1717. We check in with Stephen Dunbar Jr. from the Elks on the other side of the break. I'm Zachary Kubish, keeping you up to date.
The Oil Stream.
Listen, I should stop cracking on David Tomasek.
You really hate David Tomasek.
I don't hate David Tomasek. What I hate is the principle of going and dipping into Europe, giving a guy guaranteed money, and he's done diddly squat as an NHLer. That, to me, I just don't believe in that philosophy. And if David Tomasek comes in and has a great season, kudos to the Oilers and their scouting staff.
The Oil Stream, presented by Boston Pizza. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday afternoons at noon. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Summer in Edmonton means three things: warm weather, long nights, and plenty of sports. From the lake to the links, you can boost your summer fun with hundreds of casino games, live betting on your favorite sports teams, and access to popular lotteries. All in one app, anywhere in the province. Download the Play Alberta app today and deposit $20 or more with promo code YAG50 to claim a $50 free bet. That's promo code YAG50 for a $50 free bet on us. Redeemable once per Play Alberta account. Remember, if you gamble, please use your game sense.
Strike up some fun at the Banquet Bar. Bowling, drinks, and a great time with friends where the good times roll. Whether you're here to bowl or just hang out, the Banquet Bar is your go-to spot. Get real, play hard at the Banquet.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
River Cree Resort and Casino and K97 proudly present Steve Earle and Reckless Kelly. Featuring small band and acoustic performances, Steve Earle and Reckless Kelly in the venue, July 25th. Tickets at rivercreekresort.com.
River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement. Bet on it. Hosting the Big Canada Day Bash? Make room for the celebration with Sentinel Storage. From decluttering the garage, storing your seasonal gear, and keeping your treasures safe, we've got the space so you can enjoy the day and every day. Try 4 weeks free at sentinelstorage.ca.
Return here on the Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne. Matt Iwanyk in for Reid today alongside Zachary Kubish. You could always message us 780-218-9999. That is the River Cree inbox presented by River Cree Resort and Casino, featuring Italia Restaurant, home of the $6.99 brunch special from 11 a.m. till 4 p.m. on Sundays. Do you know how many words or likes we have right now?
Not enough.
No? Okay, well, no word of the day coming up next segment.
Well, we can rally. Folks, if you haven't hit the thumbs up yet, please do. Matt's a stickler for the rules, so if we don't get to the goal, it ain't happening.
It ain't happening.
So,
what's the number?
We're right now just shy of 100. Matt doubts you. I mean, they've rallied before. They're a good group of ralliers here. The best rallies ever saw. That makes sense.
This Thursday, the Edmonton Elks will be in the Winnipeg to take on the Blue Bombers. Green and Gold kickoff show with Jay and myself. We'll have you covered for that right here at Edmonton Sports Talk, 5:30 on Thursday as Week 4 will kick off with the Double E out in Winnipeg. And joining us right now from the Double E, it is Stephen Dunbar Jr., wide receiver for the Edmonton Elks. And Stephen, really appreciate you taking some time as you're preparing for Winnipeg to join us here on the show today. Obviously, we know the start of the season, the record not where you want to be, 0-2. But you look at the game against Montreal, and late third quarter into the fourth quarter, you guys were able to score some points. You got it to a 2-possession game. For you and the offense, do you look at that second half as something that a positive and something to build off of as you get prepared for Winnipeg this week?
Yeah, man. Yeah. Thanks again for having me on the show. Just to start. It's definitely something to look forward to. It's a positive way to kind of have some good things to put on film and kind of get to see what you could do if you just executed better and did things the right way from the beginning. It kind of gives us a spark to see how good we can be. So it definitely is a great thing to build upon.
I want to get a football player's opinion on this because Jay, my co-host here, he hates the terminology garbage football. Garbage time football. Sorry, garbage time football. Do you agree with that? Because I'll let you, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but the Owls kept their starters in the game last week. They kept playing. You guys were able to get it close, and they kept trying. What do you make of the terminology of garbage time football?
That's a tough question, man. I guess I can see where people could get that idea from, but I wouldn't necessarily consider our time that we had in the last game putting some points on the board as garbage time football. I mean, especially people who watch CFL football or been a part of CFL football, they know every game is a 4-quarter, full 60-minute game. Anything can happen. So, I mean, we definitely made a strong run. I think they was definitely trying to make sure that they close out the game against us. And, I don't think those was garbage time plays that we made. I thought those was actual critical points in the game that we showed that we can play in.
Stephen Dunbar Jr., Elks wide receiver, joining us here on the Reid Wilkins Show. You got Jay here. I wanted to ask you, during training camp, I was out at several practices and I saw a connection, a relationship forming and building with you and Trey Ford, your quarterback. Going to week 1, 2 receptions, not targeted all that many times, but then you answer back last week, 7 receptions, 97 yards. Is this relationship building and blooming right in front of our eyes?
Yeah, man, it's a work in progress. I mean, it's a long season, man. And, even in training camp, we showed some sparks of it. I mean, last game we did, but it's a work in progress, man. And I hope that we continue to, grow and mold together, not even just with me and Trey, but then with all the other receivers as well, too. But, I think it's something that we can definitely grow and see how far we can take it.
This is a group now that's obviously changed from last year to this year, but there is, a heavier presence of CFL veterans, guys that have been in the league, guys that have done it. Sitting at 0-2 as this team is, how's the locker room demeanor been, considering that now that you have this many veterans around?
Locker room's been great, man. We got a lot of good dudes. Like you said, we got a lot of good veterans that understand the CFL and understand football in general. And understand that, we have a long season ahead of us. And, not that we should waste any game or let any game go by, but, we just got to stay true to the process of, getting better and the results will come.
You got the Bombers on this Thursday. Do you have any scouting report on the Bombers? What do you see when you look at your opponent for Thursday?
I got a lot of respect for them. I mean, obviously they've been one of the premier teams in this league for the last 5 years or so, and I got a lot of respect for them. Those guys on defense been playing together for a long time. They know each other well. They know the scheme well. So we're gonna have to go in there and play our best ball to beat them. They run around, they tackle hard, and they do everything the right way. So I got a lot of respect for them.
For you, Stephen, Okay, so you'll be done with Jay and I. You'll all get off the phone, like, I'm done with these guys. You've had your day of football at the offices, watching film, or going on the field. How does a guy like Stephen Dunbar cut away from football? How do you take time to decompress and just relax?
Oh man, honestly, just talking to my loved ones, reconnecting with them, see what they got going on. Man, I like to cook. And other than that, man, I just kind of hang out with my guys on the team, and we get food, and we just hang out, man, do stuff like that to kind of get away from ball and just get closer as a team. So if I'm not really in a facility, or if I'm not spending time with my loved ones or talking to my loved ones, I'm usually with the guys on the team, hanging out and kind of decompressing that way, getting into doing stuff around the city, hanging out with those guys.
Okay, so I got to ask about the cooking. Okay, so our one of our questions of the day today was about going to the grocery store and shopping. Are you the type of guy that will go to the grocery store and go aisle for aisle looking at everything? Or do you go in with a plan, a list, and go, I'm going to get this, that's it, in, out? How does Stephen Dunbar execute a grocery shopping day?
Man, to be honest, I go to the grocery store and get what I need and get out of there. I go and get what I need. I hate grocery shopping. I'm not gonna lie, I hate it. So I go to the exact aisle I need to get what I need, and I'm out of there.
Awesome. Well, appreciate the time, Stephen. Enjoy the rest of practice this week, and all the best in Thursday out in Winnipeg.
Yes, sir. I appreciate y'all having me, man.
There's Stephen Dunbar Jr. of your Edmonton Elks, a guy who just gets in and out. It's right down to business. Just like he is on the football field. He's in the grocery store, right down to business.
Why waste time?
Why waste time?
Get the goods and get out, baby.
On a football field, I get that. In a grocery store, it just might be something you missed. There might be that nice treat, the goodie that you missed.
I should preface it by the difference of having little ones at your side if you're shopping. If you're shopping on your own, which I do, it's a simple solo mission.
Okay.
With the little ones, you get distracted. The ice cream aisle.
Yeah.
The crackers aisle.
So I feel like that's where you have to have the plan and not go to certain aisles.
Yes. The yogurt drinks area. Dad, we need this. No, we don't. We have plenty of this in the fridge at home. We have plenty of this in the pantry. Sometimes you need to crack the whip a bit. This is not just a free-for-all.
When I went grocery shop with my grandparents, I was a little bit older, so this is past the stage of getting the free cookie at the bakery, which was always great, which they still do.
Yeah.
For kids.
They do some cool things at our store around holidays.
Well, no, but like any time, I remember as a kid, you just go up to the bakery and they'd bring you a cookie.
Oh, I don't know if that's still active.
There's some places that still do that. My nieces have done it.
Okay.
Yeah, there are some places that still, if you're a kid, you can go up to the bakery and they'll give you a free cookie. It was the best. I'm so glad that that's kind of still a thing. But when I went with my grandma, so like my dad would take her out and my grandfather would just sit at the front because he didn't want to grocery shop. I got one thing. It was a great way looking back. She would buy me one treat. So I had to pick and choose. So I'd pick like popsicles or something like that, but I only get one.
Nice. That's fair.
So it worked out.
And it's totally different. Well. You're talking apples and oranges with the grandparents as opposed to the parents. The parents have to work with stricter rules in place. The grandparents can do whatever they want.
Why?
There's no rules for grandparents.
Well, but for her, she was a stricter. Like she was great. I loved her, but she wouldn't just let me take anything. Like always.
Well, no,
I feel like
she did her job.
I think it was the right thing. You can have one treat.
You can have one.
Like why not just one?
Because you do have to put parameters around things. That's a life lesson. You can't always get what you want. But she, God bless her,
it was great.
Great.
Popsicles is how I knew I could maximize it.
Popsicles. Now, when you're talking popsicles, like, are you talking
like
single
sticks?
Like
like a thing of 12.
Right, but were they single?
Yeah.
Like baton shaped? Or were they the flat, like Revel style?
No, I always like the fruity popsicle ones.
Okay.
Like not the chocolate ones or something.
I was a big Revel guy. Some people call them Revellos or Revello.
And I want the ice cream. I wanted the
ice cream.
I want the like the freezies or those type of tastes as a kid.
Wouldn't pass in my house.
Why not?
Big ice cream house.
Oh, I'll do ice cream now.
Yeah.
I have some Haagen-Dazs ice cream, chocolate ice cream that I ate a little bit yesterday.
Did you?
Yes. I'm actually starting on a sourdough starter as well.
Are you?
Yes, I'm attempting it.
You should have told me. I have a starter.
You mentioned this to me before.
Yeah. They're meant to share. Starters are meant to share.
If this doesn't go well, I may need to take some from you.
Please ask.
But I've attempted a sourdough starter and it rose last night.
Did it?
Mm-hmm.
Bang. There's restaurants that have been using the same starter for 40, 50 years.
I saw on Etsy, you could buy a 4,500-year-old Egyptian sourdough.
Ooh, that's a little too old for my liking.
I also just wonder, like, where's the proof? Where do you have the actual evidence that this is something that started, this sourdough starter started 4,500 years ago in Egypt?
Yeah, I don't know. Is
there a certificate of authenticity for this?
Probably not. Probably just, it's, you know what it is? It's probably Antonio Enrique's selling it online, trying to take advantage of poor Matthew Iwanyk again.
I just wish he was closer. I'm not going out to Mississauga.
I saw a thing online today. We can fly to Toronto for $140.
Actually, I need to book a flight to Saskatoon in August. It was 70 some bucks. I got to go book it.
Why are you going to Saskatoon in August?
Bachelor party.
Oh,
yeah.
Saskatoon. Who throws a bachelor party in Saskatoon?
Well, we're going to Regina, but the guy's from Saskatchewan.
Even worse.
We're going to a Riders game.
Oh, okay. Oh, that makes sense.
It's a bunch of people from Saskatchewan. Eric will be on this.
Oh, wow.
But I got to leave after an Elks game. So, like, the Friday, people are going to drive out from Edmonton, the Edmonton people. I'm going to fly out Saturday morning.
How much was that to fly?
70 some bucks will be.
Yeah. Who in their right mind would drive? Take the flight.
Well, I'm driving back with the boys.
Oh, that you got the easy leg.
Well, but they get it. But they get the Friday night, and I miss out on the Friday night. Well, I don't miss out on the Friday night because you and I are together.
Because they're going to be a bag of you know what on Saturday. You're going to come in there hot, fresh, ready to roar, and they're going to brighten their spirits.
Someone's got to.
This is a tactical move.
That's good. And I was looking at prices. They're like 150 some bucks. And yesterday or this weekend, I looked, and they're like 70 some bucks. By the way, this this password hack that you and Cooper were informing me about.
Yeah.
16 billion logins exposed. Gave them access to Facebook, Meta, and Google. 16 billion logins exposed.
How do they let that happen?
How is this not bigger news?
It is big news. I saw it. I never watch the news. I don't look at much.
I'm pretty in tune with the news.
Yeah, I'm surprised you missed it.
And I didn't see anything on 16 billion logins. Here's the moral of the story to everyone right now.
Change your passwords.
Well, there's two morals of the story. I forgot to give the other moral of the story, but this one, yeah, you might. Everyone right now might be a good idea to go in and change passwords across the board. Number two, the moral of the story of the other thing is always be checking your online banking.
Yeah.
At least once every other day or something.
Yeah, check
like
your
that,
pending
right?
transactions. If there's something there that you'd think, what is this from?
That's smart.
Double check.
I got it set up where if it's a purchase over $10, I immediately get notified on my phone.
There you go. Always. I have those things. Or if you don't, I don't have those ones because I'm always on my online banking every day or two, and I look at my credit card, see pending transactions. So had I not got this from an email from Amazon from Fired Up, I would have seen it.
Now I know how I'm going to get you, Zach. I'm just going to do hundreds of $9 transactions.
No.
Yes.
Don't do it. Don't
I've
do
got
it.
you.
No.
16 billion.
That's sickening.
That's two passwords for every person on this earth.
Which is crazy. I'm trying to think about that. Most people have multiple accounts or whatever, or, you know,
But
Instagram, Facebook, all of your other accounts. But I also found out, I didn't find it directly. Somebody texted me and was like, man, you might want to change your password.
We got to get to a couple limericks here. I know we're a little late.
Oh, we have limericks. Well, also, so before we do original Ravello bars, it's the chocolate covered ice cream.
Yes.
I don't like those because I think the chocolate tastes like crap.
Oh, it's the best because it is crap.
So I
think it works for some reason. It's like
I'd rather just have a full chocolate bar.
It is
frozen chocolate.
Like the best thing you can get is a Dairy Queen dipped cone.
I'd say I like the Dilly's bars.
Yeah, like those are phenomenal.
But these ones, yeah,
they're much the same. They're in the same lane.
I'd rather not have them.
But a dipped chocolate cone, you know they have like orange cream dip now too. I've seen.
I've been to Dairy Queen and I don't know if I've ever actually, as an adult, gone into a Dairy Queen.
I've gone there with the kids. The girls like blizzards.
Yeah, and I've had them given to me, but I don't think I've ever actually gone and bought one in my life.
That's a lie. That's an outright lie.
No, I believe I don't believe I ever have.
Nope. Who are you?
I did.
You were.
Josh Clausen
taken.
didn't have his first Big Mac till he was 40, and he did it for a bit on the Bear.
Get some help.
I don't need help. Well, I did from BMO and Amazon. Limericks.
This comes in from Bronco Nick, and then I got one from VR Montenegro. So the Oilers are looking for a tender. And forwards fans will remember. Search high and low, maybe one with stick flow or sick flow. And no more return to sender. He sent that in before that story. That's kind of funny how that works. And this one comes in from VR Montenegro. Grocery shopping is an adventure in some respects. Dodging carts and the worst of humanity's dregs. Always bring with a list. Ensure nothing is missed. Flashing a Costco black card is a super weird flex.
Did you ever see the picture of the guy and the girl at like a ASU or some college basketball game, and he was showing her his Costco card?
Yeah,
she looked at it, she's like, oh, wow.
Whoa, might want to keep this guy around.
VR, I got to email you back. Don't worry. I will get on to it probably tomorrow. We'll get to a Zach Sports update here, and then we'll wrap up the Reid Wilkins Show for this Monday on the other side of this break. You're listening to the Reid Wilkins Show with J. Milne, Matt Iwanyk in for Reid on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton Sports.
David Beard of the Elks is headed to the 6-game injured list with a calf injury, with Edmonton making another move, signing defensive lineman Elijah Alston from the Miami Hurricanes. In hockey, Game 6 of the Calder Cup Finals is live near the end of the first period. The Checkers lead the Canucks 2-0. Abbotsford up 3-2 in the series. In the WHL, the Oil Kings have traded this year's first rounder in the CHL import draft, next year's first-round pick at the WHL import draft, as well as some future picks in exchange for Max Curran from the Americans. Curran is a prospect for the Avalanche, being picked in the 5th round in last year's NHL draft. And on the pitch, Canada's Ali Ahmed is out for the rest of the Gold Cup. He sustained an ankle injury Saturday against Curacao and will undergo further evaluation with his MLS club in Vancouver. Meanwhile, there's 9 games in basketball, 3-game baseball, 3 games live right now. In the second, it's the Yankees up 1-0 on the Reds, while the Mets trail 1-0. Well, in the 5th, it's Texas down 1-0 to Baltimore. I'm Zachary Kubish. That was your sports update. The final segment of the Reid Wilkins Show brings us back after a brief break.
EST Afternoons.
Josh Lulenberg from TSN.
He's a proud Canadian. He's the first guy every summer to stand up and say, well, I'm playing one of the greatest single seasons of all time in rarefied air with Shaq, MJ, and Kareem as the only players that have won the scoring title, MVP, NBA title, and finals MVP. It's incredible.
EST Afternoons, weekday afternoons 1 to 3, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Your brand deserves more than just a whisper. It deserves a buzz. At the Hive Product Marketing, they specialize in promotional products that bring the buzz. From eye-catching giveaways to unforgettable keepsakes, they got the perfect products to make your brand stand out and get noticed. Visit the Hive Product Marketing and let them create the buzz your business deserves. The Hive Product Marketing, the official merch partner of Edmonton Sports Talk. Visit them online at thehiveproductmarketing.com.
Looking for a winning strategy for your retirement? Contact me, Joaquin Gage at K4 Financial, where expertise meets dedication. I will always look for a careful approach to your retirement, ensuring your financial future is secure. From tailored strategies to clear, actionable advice, I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Don't leave your future to chance. Get in touch with me, Joaquin Gage, today at k4financial.ca or email joaquin.gage@k4financial.ca to start planning for a brighter future and a more secure retirement.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury, even though there's absolutely no way you could afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury, but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching a button, thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki as a ninja fighting off evil samurai.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road, parkmazda.ca.
Reid Wilkins Show, Jay Milne. Final, 8-9 minutes of the show here. Matt
Good
Iwanyk,
tune
Jay Milne,
there. That's a good tune.
Zachary Kubish with you here in Edmonton Sports Talk. We're live in the Banquet Studios. Craving a late night snack? Check out the Banquet's new all-night happy hour menu. Sunday to Thursdays, 9 p.m. till close. Enjoy favorites like sweet and spicy lettuce wraps or the Banquet Burger at happy hour prices. The Banquet, get real, play hard. We're not getting into word of the day. I'll just say that right now. We're 100, something like that. We need 130. I'm a stickler. People didn't click it. Enough people didn't click the like button, so it's not happening today. We'll try again tomorrow. A little bit of a debate going on in the commercial break. I'm not liking where this last segment's going. Jay is insane.
I don't know that this is even a debate.
Okay, we're talking popsicles here.
We're talking frozen aisle.
No, that changes so much.
No. I said, what is your go-to in the frozen aisle at the grocery store?
No, you didn't. You started by popsicle.
Oh,
And then I said that firecracker, which is the red, white, and blue. And I looked at it. It's cherry, white, lemon, and blue raspberry. And you say there's no substance to that. How is there no substance
terrible.
to this? How is that terrible?
It's a popsicle.
Exactly.
There's nothing to it.
If we're talking about a popsicle, it's a great popsicle. You get 3 flavors for the price of 1.
If I'm going popsicle, I'm going creamsicle. That's not even close.
Yes, it is. Like this is way better. Creamsicle's like upper mid tier.
Okay, if I'm going, let's just go frozen aisle.
Oh, well.
Treats. Frozen aisle treats. If you're not putting a Nestle drumstick in your top 3, you're out to lunch.
I'm out to lunch then. Fine. Give me just
a Nestle sweet and salty caramel drumstick.
A chocolate fudgesicle. That's it. Just all chocolate.
Oh, what?
That's all you need. That's all you need. And that one, that's all you need.
They have a place in the frozen aisle. They do. I'm not saying it's a terrible, but that's your go-to?
No, that's not my go-to.
We're not counting calories here, Maddie.
My go-to is Ben & Jerry's ice cream. Straight up Ben & Jerry's.
What flavor?
There's Oconida is a good one. Or legit, the Jimmy Fallon one is a good one. When you see them for $5, used to be $4, but inflation, all that stuff. $5. It's on sale at Walmart right now. Grab it. I could crush that one. A good ice cream. And I'm very particular about that one. There's a lot of ice creams that other people say they like. I don't like them. I don't like low quality ice cream. I need higher. Save on food. What is they? Great Western? Western Family?
Western Family.
Solid ice cream. I do highly recommend that one.
Okay.
A drumstick over anything else. What's wrong with you?
Nothing. Drumsticks have substance. Drumsticks have sweet, salty, crunchy. Some of them even have a core. A solid chocolate core, Matt.
No.
What kind of man scoffs at a solid chocolate core?
Spency 5 cents agrees. Drumsticks top 3 for sure. Big Uke says fudgesicles aren't top 10. What are you talking about?
Agreed.
But we're not talking. I'll take a fudgesicle over a drumstick. That's what I'm saying.
A fudgesicle over a drumstick.
100%.
Oh my.
100%.
I can't believe it. Hey, Coop, I'm going to bring in drumsticks for us tomorrow and watch Maddie just lick his lips.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite treats.
Now you'll eat it.
Probably the best frozen treat.
I think it's up there. How can you?
If you want to
it's
go
an
best,
ice cream cone.
Here's the thing.
It's a waffle cone all in one.
If we're going to label this as the best, it's gelato. It starts at gelato, ends at gelato. You're not beating a gelato. Give me a pistachio gelato. Give me a coffee gelato. Gelato is the way to go.
I can't take it anymore. I don't even know if I've ever had a gelato.
You're missing out. They are really good.
Okay.
But not that good.
For tomorrow's show, I'll bring drumsticks.
Let's go buy a gelato.
You bring gelato. You live downtown. Everything's just stone's throw. Just order it on Amazon.
Hey, Antonio, can you order me something?
I'll bring the drummies. You bring the jellies.
I get to eat them.
And Coob, Coob will do the test. We'll put one in front of him. He can review them.
Nice. I get 3 things.
He's already said he prefers drumsticks.
Exactly, because he's right.
Maybe I'm not getting the right gelato. Maybe I'm not getting true Italian.
Drumsticks are not very good.
She's just trying to take your side.
Thank you, Jen.
Because you're getting wrapped up and beaten in the chat right now.
No other way to drum it up.
Big Uke, I'm here tomorrow. Deal with it. Accept it, Big Uke.
Schrodinger's girlfriend says, hard agree with Maddie.
Which part? We talking gelato or the drumstick part of that?
Did not specify.
Okay. So all of it. I'm just completely right. Includes the firecracker rocket type popsicle being great. All of it.
Oh, can't wait to have some drummies.
Now I
tomorrow.
gotta go find it. Which flavor of gelato?
You said it's available in the frozen aisle.
Oh, I'm just trying. Well, there's so many different options for gelato.
What's the best? Vanilla bean?
Actually, straight up, I've learned this. I did not know this. Kayla told me this one. If you ever go to a store and you're looking for gelato, like especially if you go to Italy, do you know those like silver containers that open up, like with the ice cream and slots inside of it?
No.
Oh.
What sorcery is this?
Well, it's just for stores. Like a true gelato. Well, now I'm going to have to, I can't figure this one out. You don't want a gelato like this in a store, apparently in Italy. It's not legit. And people can't see that are watching. I'll have to find it later.
This is riveting.
Gelato is absolutely delicious.
So you're going to bring gelato?
Yeah, wait, here's actually, JB, what kind of man scoffs at a solid chocolate core? That's a fudgesicle. It's all chocolate. That is a complete chocolate core.
No.
That is full chocolate. So what man scoffs at a chocolate core? That's a fudgesicle. Yes.
No.
Yes.
The fudgesicle and the chocolate core are totally different entities. The fudgesicle is like iced chocolate. A chocolate core is a nice, firm, yet pliable chocolate. It's a fudge. It's frozen fudge.
You want chocolate in the core? Fudgesicle. It's all chocolate.
Oh.
Boo, you suck.
So I'm bringing a gelato in tomorrow.
Oh,
You're bringing a drumstick.
It's Jen's birthday. Happy birthday, Jen. Oh. Round of clicks, yeah. Way to go.
I'll do round of clicks.
Spicy. Started spicy, ended spicy.
This is just unbelievable.
I can't wait. Ice cream.
There is no word of the day.
Yeah, there is none. Did we not rally?
No, we did not rally.
Well.
All you drumstick people out there didn't want to like this show. I blame the drumstick people. Gelato people know what to do. They hit the thumbs up.
We'll find out tomorrow. I'm actually excited. I've never had gelato. I think I maybe had a taster of it, but what is it? It's ice cream?
What is gelato? Let's see what. Gelato refers to a specific type of ice cream of Italian origin.
So it's Italian ice cream?
Yeah, it's delicious though. It's amazing.
I don't understand.
It's Italian.
So what's vanilla ice cream? Canadian ice cream?
I don't know. I've never fully figured it out. I've never made gelato, so I don't know. Never made ice cream.
Is it whipped? Whipped?
I don't know.
I'm excited.
Do you like pistachios? Can you have pistachios?
I like pistachios.
I
can have
those.
pistachios.
Okay, that's good to know.
Riedrich cannot.
No, I know, but okay, I had to double check that.
Are you going to try pull a pistachio ice cream on me? Bruh?
Well, I like a pistachio ice cream, a gelato.
Really?
Or you got to go coffee.
Why don't you go vanilla bean?
I don't know. Or otherwise, it's not a gelato. A true lemon one is more like a sorbet.
Yeah, no sorbets for this guy.
I love lemon. No? Not a lemon?
No.
Oh my God. This is...
That's too tart.
Yeah, it's a big Uke. He might do the show by himself tomorrow because I don't know if I could do this for another day. Coming up next here on our audio streams, we got MCTV, we got the Pipeline Show, and then 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, Dustin Nielsen, Lieutenant Eric, Trev, YouTube Trev. They will be back kicking off Tuesday here on Edmonton Sports Talk. I am back with you tomorrow on the Reid Wilkins Show alongside Zachary Kubich. Thank you to everyone for tuning in to the Reid Wilkins Show here on Edmonton Sports Talk presented by Play Alberta. I'd like to thank our guests, Dan Ralph from the Canadian Press, Paul Sir, 3x3 Basketball Association, as well as Stephen Dunbar Jr., wide receiver for the Edmonton Elks. Enjoy the rest of your Monday night. We will chat with you tomorrow, 3 o'clock, right here on EST.